She belongs to the street.
Yes. 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 Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to another edition and another broadcast here on the Chaos Reign show. Not channel. This is the Chaos Reign show. As you know, this is now presented and formerly known as the Chaos Reign show. And I have gave it some thought for the last month and a half. And I've noticed like most things, when you look at or view content, there's always an end to the title, or actually of the title of the person's channel. You'll see people with TV, which is like broadcast television, not much visuals, but TV nonetheless. And there are some that is podcasts. But really, what separates everything from my point of view is I like to call what you are witnessing or what you view here on this channel a show. This show composed of many things. It can be entertaining, it can be goddamn boring, or it could be informative. Nonetheless, this is the premise and the actual name of Chaos Reign. So I like to present to you the Chaos Reign show. So, like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that red subscriber button. Then you must also hit the top, not the middle, not the lower ends of the bells. You don't get enough from that. That's just garbage. The top bell is where the party is at. So always, if you're a subscriber or want to be a new subscriber, those are the ways to subscribe to the channel. And I'm looking here to a particular content creator still not covering the thing with the Mr. Lanes, but that's cool. So that's how you subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at ChaosReign7 and add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Reign on Facebook. And last but not least, join the Discord service of the Chaos Reign channel. That's the link to the Discord service in the About section. And like always, I might let it run through, and I might put it in the chat room for those that want to follow it to make it easier for one to follow. Let me see. Okay, and I see Jay Shine. What's good, Jay Shine? He just hit me up. And matter of fact, I will put the link to Discord service since I'm here. Where is it? Okay. And like always, sharing is caring, so don't be hesitant. Share the channel. Okay. Ask the link to Discord service to join Discord. And what else? I should probably put the Twitter. I'll put the Twitter as well. Why not? Oh, my apologies. I'm also on Clubhouse. So let me see if I can find a link to Clubhouse for those to join me on Clubhouse. As you know, I'm spreading out, not branching out, but spreading out on other social media platforms since they're available. And I do also have a Rumble account. No contest on Rumble yet, but I might put some content in Rumble. One thing I've heard, just for a little clarity before we begin, it looks like what's going on for people that's monetized or etc. From I heard from another content creator that they are not going to really much like cursing on certain platforms on YouTube if you're monetized mostly. Now that sounds messed up, but as you know, YouTube, like many platforms, as they get more and they're actually commercialized with advertisements and all that stuff, that it's not always so friendly for you as a person, include me, but I'm always mindful of my words at times, and I do the best I can, that there should be less cussing on a lot of these videos, on a lot of these live streams. So always, and this is just a recommendation to those as future content creators. If you got a potty mouth, a dirty mouth, a filthy mouth, please be mindful and keep that in control, because they're not going to allow it. They won't give you no advertisement, most likely. Not say they'll get rid of the channel, but they won't like paying you if you're constantly have a potty mouth and you're saying all such a dirty words like shit, f, fuck, and all this vulgar language. So that's what is the word on the streets. Now, mostly this only applies to advertisement. Now, terms of service might change a little bit instead, but really is if you're making them money or they're making you money or whatever case may be, it would be wise that they don't like too much cursing. And you know how most of us, we like to curse any chance we get. So please be mindful of your language. So that's a little insider for those that's not familiar. All right. Let me see if everything else is sent. I'm just looking around now, guys. Hold on. Why is it still doing this? Oh. Oh, you know I did wrong? Okay. All right. All right. So let's begin. The title at hand. As you know, it's titled Andrew Tate schools these hoes or short word ladies that like to engage in debauchery and like to fling up and use their wombs as a vacuum cleaner, or for lack of better terms. But anyway, so as you see the thumbnail, see the title, and really talking about this, I mean, as you know, our good, wonderful, lovely red woman, our light-skinned Mississippi woman, they call Miss Renner. She's on the media again. She is making her lovely rounds with her nice, shapely, smooth, and well taken care of body throughout the internet for a second chance of hoping getting a top tier gentleman. But as you know, the quest to get a gentleman after being over the age of 30, going on 31 in the month of February. She is an Aquarius, mind you. She is a water, so you know she's very wet, if you know what I mean. She is trying to come back out in the whole media and try to clean up her image, clean up everything to the point that way to let people know, especially the men that she hopefully to get as the cleanup man, the backup man, to come and grace her with the chance of a long-term commitment, which eventually will lead to marriage on her terms now, not by your terms, but basically on her terms. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I don't know how that's going to work, but I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but like I said, she's going to try. Oh, wow. What's this? Before I'm trying to find some. This one not stay long. All right. And really, truly, Miss Renner, is going to do her best, and I mean her best, to hopefully get some man, or I'd call a sucker, to give her what she wants, basically. But there's no guarantee nowadays, especially guarantee that she'll get what she wants. But like I said, you know, for a woman that is not, you know, heavily jet black, but she is, you know, a fair skin, and she has the eye can appeal and keep her body good, anything is possible. Hell, Karen Steffens, as you know, she's out here, you know, change her name, try and change her image, and she's having intercourse with young men, mostly black men. Have y'all noticed that a lot of ladies, a lot of sisters, particularly, in my opinion, Have y'all really noticed that they are really after they get a certain age, they okay. All right. I was reading some, guys. You would know that that these ladies are going down, meaning they go younger. I know one particular sister, she's up there in her 30s, and she does not deal with older men. She deals with younger men. So it seemed to me there's something up. Once you are at the wall stage of life, that you're going to like entertain younger dudes. Layla Anthony, anyone? She said when she divorced Carmel Anthony, no man of around her age range, a little older, are checking for her. It's mostly dudes that's 20, I would say, in the 20s, checking for her. And I tell you, they only checking for her just for one thing only, to get that box. It is what it is. So, like I said, a lot of them are trying to go back in this campaign to revive and redeem themselves, but to no avail. There might not be much success in that direction. But anyway, let's begin with the tape at hand. And I'll give my little own reactions. And let me make sure my banners are set up. There we go. So let us begin. Fair use, in effect. All right. And let's see how.
So my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I'm gonna say something.
Come on, ladies.
Everybody's gonna say,
to educate me.
The number one problem.
Answer all the questions. Come on, tell me.
The number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Basically, that's in it in a nutshell. That's the end of the show. That's it. I think that's it for the end of the show. Yeah, boy. Oh yeah. Hold on, guys. Yeah, that's the end for the show. That's the end of the show. She just answered. Let me log off, man. No, I'm joking. Anyway, yeah, she's right. Men lie to get what they want, and women, the same or opposite. Basically. Now, we all remember our good dating coach, one they called Alan Roger Curry, that has transitioned and is no longer with us, said about the one approach. You gotta be upfront and honest with the ladies. But she's right. Now, the problem with that direction is that when you're being upfront honest with the ladies, you're not going to get what you really want. You're never going to get what you want, because to be really honest in this climate, you put yourself in a serious trick bag to just go up front to any woman, older or a little younger, and you just go flat out and tell her, baby, I just want to have sex. You down? Now, mind you, with this approach, like Mr. Curry said, you got to have real balls to go that route. And not most men on the average, we're not going to be honest, tell a woman what we really want in our attention, because by doing it, you open a chest bag of trouble. You open a nest. You actually open the Pandora's box for real trouble. And you don't want to be risking to put all your eggs in one basket and just tell her right out what you're thinking. How you doing, Mr. Tyrese Blue? Let me check. What's good? That's good. And so, but anyway, you're going to have to put that risk and do that, because now in this uncertain climate, that women got the upper hand to the point where they said society now we must believe all women, including if they tell a white lie. It's okay. We gotta believe them anyway, because it is for their benefit and for your detriment. Nonetheless, you put yourself in a serious trick bag when you're trying to play the same games as her, which you might lose. Matthew, you're going to lose in this Western environment. But anyway, Men don't tell the truth because they won't get what they want. It's that simple. Let's continue. As you see the fair use in effect.
Ooh.
That's a good paradigm to start from, because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one.
Now, most women won't always know that you're lying. Depending, and I say depending, if they are attracted to you sexually. If they're sexually attracted to you, then yes, by all means, they will not pay attention too much to the lie. But if you're not their cup of tea on the average, 9/10 of the time that they're going to know right off the bat that you can't tell a lie. Anyway, let's continue. Barriers.
I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because it is because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat and is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never going to have. And it's becoming harder and harder. And you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for. And then you got other guys who have nothing. And there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy. And then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
Well, it's deeper than that. Because we are such in a low deficit resource-wise, and resources going to get scarce, mind you, as time progresses. That you're going to notice that if it hasn't already, there is a rise of the men that can get access, and there are some that will get access, depending on how they play out in certain environments. But at the end of the day, it's the divide and the separation. It goes in a stretching and again thinner and thinner. So what Mr. Tate said is pretty accurate. In what women's standards, as crazy as it sounds, that is their standards, and they will live and die off this. See, as a man, we don't have to worry about too much standards. We try to keep it as simple as possible, because in the world, we only could get and obtain what we do. And we can't get it, we always will go to least resistance in time. Now, today's modern man, I don't know if I could say that's factual now, but how men are thinking and moving now, the shift is here. And as you know, you see from the reactions from the blogs, you hear men talk, say this is what they expected. They want femininity, submission, yada, 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 yada. That sounds good. That sounds great. But are they willing to get this? And if they're not willing to get it, what else they do? They go to the least resistance, or they go to a whole different territory to get what they want. At the end of the day, the standard for men today has been reflected by the environment. And I think the standards is always either the same or it's getting more tight-knit. And maybe that's a result because majority men today have been raised by most women. So now they think and operate like the woman. So what her standards are, is going to apply to the standards of some of these men today. Very demanding. And it's more shortcut and simple than the ladies. A millionaire, someone that's roughly 6 feet. I don't know where people get the 6 feet from, but that's another story. Everything else, willing to blow their back out and not cheat. I'm not sure where in this civilization exists, but this is their rationale. What's good, Alonzo Hall? Sorry, I missed some of your videos, Alonzo. But keep up doing the good work, bro. You know, you're doing great work. So let us continue, guys.
Other women.
Wow.
Well, should I say the problem
I
with
would
women?
say
I'll tell you.
well,
No,
everybody's
no,
got
Oh, make sure you guys hit the like button too.
chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my Clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well, I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Definitely.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why
0%.
just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, etc., is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
Don't forget.
Well, there's reasons for that, Mr. Tate, because women feel like they're princess. In America, they give us and train the notion that there are kings and queens, princess, and etc. And allow them to think that they should be lavish with wonderful goods and services. Mostly in regards to nice little fiat currencies of dollar bills and some nice trinkets like a Gucci bag, Louis Vuitton, and hell, maybe some what they call it, wigs and clip-ons. I mean, ladies like to be flourish with some things to make them feel pretty. But, you know, so that's why they feel and operate the way they do. Now, we all know outside America, it's similar depending on the environment. But here in the West, it's evident that they think that the accountability is foreign to them. Everything should be given to them on a silver platter. They don't do much, work much. And yes, they think that everything should be given to them, and if not, they will pray it away. They will sit there, do these little incantations of meditation, or this what do they call this dumb thing? Shit, I forgot what they call it. Not Florence. Meditate, or what do you call those things? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's continue because it'll come back to me.
Yeah, what you're forgetting right nowadays, they can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
they
saying-
can look sexy at in size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
People think
Wait a minute. Is this the right one? Wait, guys. One second. Yeah, I think this is the right one.
learning piano takes a really long time, but that's false.
Yeah, something not right here, guys. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let's give me that dumb commercial. 1 second, guys. Let me find it. I thought this is the one. Oh, wait. I checked my shorts. I might have did the wrong one, guys. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find. That's weird. I swear I had the videotape. Oh. I don't know what the hell's going on, guys. All right. This is new. All right, I just gotta fast forward, guys. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Let me fast forward that shit. Let me do this.
Here's how long it really takes with this new method.
Okay. All right, it's back.
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with what you just said because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not accountable for themselves. They think that because they're a man, you're gonna be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change how their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not happy to change. No, they're not.
The women are changing.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I have to agree with that. If you're a lazy bastard and all you do as a man, play video games all day. You do not go out and get work or adequate employment, and you living off a woman, or if you're able to, you will get punished in the long run, not the short term, long run, because society does demonize lazy, very lazy, unproductive men. Not the same for women. Now, if a woman is the opposite, only thing she could be, there's consequence is depending if she really is not attractive and she's too big, possibly. Maybe. But overall, as a man, you can't do that and get real tangible results. And, you know, I'm not sure where ladies talking about that there's like a whole set of big men. I don't know where this is coming from. Most dudes that are doing this, these dudes not 300 pounds. That's under over six feet, basically. But what do I know? Let's continue. And he's right. Miss Tate is right. The only thing they would like to change, maybe their appearance, if they could, you know, maybe spend money and get surgery up. But overall, the only thing that they do not want to change is certain things like their attitude or behaviors, which they have in their power to control. So do not be fooled. Fair is in effect.
And what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man will most, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation and can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there on her stomach. You think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to...
You see, Miss Pearly is pretty much cracking up back there. You know, it's funny with the BBLs, since we mentioned it. Personally, I'm not really too fond of when women are now getting these surgeries. I don't know if I did any content on it. Maybe around this time now, I can make the time to do so if I choose to. But I'm not really too fond of too much altering of one's bodies. I think it's a laziness, it's a cop-out. And there's consequence when you do that for any part of your body in the long term, not the short term, but the long-term effects. It's very scary. I think just recently, a woman it was something news-wise. She has lost her life after having BBL. Now, I'm not sure if she got any complications after, but she lost her life. So it seemed to me that these surgeries now is really, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but what I'm noticing from the articles and the videos that's popping up that women are losing their life after getting the BBL or eventually going to get it is a lot of sisters are losing their life. And to me, it's telling me that God's telling you you should not be altering your body in regards to getting a bigger ass. I'm just saying. Anyway, let us continue. Fair use and effect.
Hit the house. She's got put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman.
Ooh.
And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars,
By the time you take
catfish.
everything off, women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand. Learn to please a man.
That is so outdated,
That's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She said,
right.
girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport when we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as
no,
well.
but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Well, you could do both. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of humans are able to multitask. Last my check. If a man could work more than one job and maybe attend to the household, he could. Same for you ladies. If you mostly in the household working or you work outside the household, you could easily attend to your mate. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. At the end, it's just choice. A lot of people today, once they get comfortable, that's when complacency starts. Comfortability brews and develops complacency, in my opinion. And one thing we don't want to start doing is be complacent in everything we do. So let's continue.
quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to, oh, wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think. But
Now, if you're talking about eating out, then doing some cooking nowadays, it's lazy, very lazy. As you know, if you're a single person, man or woman, the last thing you want to do is you want to be constantly eat out. I've noticed the amount of money I spend sometimes when I go eat out. It's ridiculous. And it comes to my conclusion that the amount of money we spend buying food that's cooked by other people, we could probably put more use to the money if we cut back on spending on takeout foods. If you do a normal budget on a monthly basis or do it yearly and you count how many times you go out and spend money, you'll be surprised how much money you threw away in a year. So for somebody to say that cleaning because they got a dishwasher machine and they don't have to cook, they go eat out, it seems to me that you're a perpetual consumer and you do not want to really invest and save and put use to real money. So be careful, fellas, when a woman is telling you that they rather go out more every day and very do little domestic works. Usually someone's household is always direct of what they normally do if they in the presence of themselves or with another person. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's continue. Fair use.
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook? And most guys
want this.
But I think that's
For
more,
the quick
but I think
satisfaction.
that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man. Right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at, when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going.
All right, please, guys, make sure you like the stream. If you want to share it, I appreciate it. But most days you come in and watch the stream, hit the like button. Likes are free. Last time I checked, they're free. Let me check it. Yeah, they're free. Let's continue.
Now, you can suck head just as good as any old tramp on the street and keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't say
Wait,
attraction's not
I've-
important though.
Talking to your mic.
You can't say attraction is not important though.
It is
Initially.
For
important.
you to
Initially.
get initially, exactly. A man is not gonna find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's going to
Especially a man
find you
that's got money.
attractive and he's
Okay,
going to...
let's ask Andrew.
Yeah, but yeah, let Andrew answer that before I say something.
He's gonna,
Andre,
he-
would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
that ain't what I said.
Oh, well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better jobs. It's why I want more money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's what men
complaining.
want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean,
Well, I can't knock him on it. As you build yourself and you get in a certain status, not only mentally, but also physically, and also in all other categories, sex doesn't have its rights. So what he said makes a little sense. Every man is different on what woman he wants under his arm or what he requires his woman to do. But normally when you have a woman that still is able to do the domestic work and little small things, it's actually A+. I mean, if you think about most majority men that's Gen Xers, millennials, we can say Gen Zs, mostly are around, give or take, if they're in a 2-parent or 1-parent household, still see some form of the mother doing something that's domestic, last time I checked. That's what I'm just saying. But if they haven't really seen it or really view it in their own eyes while they're growing up in their development, they're not going to always require it, much as expected. Because they're already indoctrinated to see that I never see my mom cook or do these things. So by default, I'm not seeking that because you're not trained to see so. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's keep going. Fair use and effect.
no, let's be serious about this. Because
You had the Gok 3000.
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit. What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly. And that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius, spoken like a true one. That is true.
My
It's a
man's
Clementine.
my
It's a
man's a
Clementine.
Sagittarius.
Keeps you hyped.
Well,
My man's a Sagittarius.
so basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's always been that way.
Yeah, but then think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women, is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women because
they're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious. He came back with honor. He got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you'd go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here, and I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. Mm-hmm. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out.
Balance.
All right. Before I continue, hold on. Oh, I have positive vibes. Who's the person that you say is fighting with a 19-year-old and lost? I don't know if you want to elaborate. That's new. That's very new. I want to know a little bit more of that. You know, funny thing with Andrew Tate. Now playing this, and I don't know how many times I've really did a content on this dude. I see him as a very bright man. His mouth is very loose, but a bright man. There's certain things as a man of his status, he always has time for room for growth. Being upfront, honest, will get you eyeballs for the right crowd, but also get you eyeballs for the wrong crowd as well. Because in society, it is more rear and geared to coddle people, men, and predominantly a lot of women. Because we can't coddle society, the society push back and they're gonna buck back hard, very hard. So what do you do to prevent that? You gotta give them bread, tea, trinkets, and give them entertainment so it curbs the anger. Because the truth does bother people. It really does hurt, be honest. Let's look at the chat room. Okay, you said Andrew Tate. Okay. He was fighting with Greta and got thrown in jail because of it. Oh, interesting. Thanks for telling me that. Let's continue. Fair use in effect.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9 to 5 person that's going to look
No.
after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media. 9 to 5. I've got our own property. 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not
Oh.
old fashioned. It works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
What
it
I'm trying to
does.
say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and men have
difference is-
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
Like that.
I want to know.
as he said,
I want to know what
thank
I want to know
you.
what she's after.
I'll have this one after
I
this
want to know what she's
point.
after. She
Yeah.
can go home and dry that now.
It's the
put it in
clever
a-
time.
Wait, it is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So, there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side, is that the same way that a society evolved and made men feel less purpose, they have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of, you know.
No, but she.
The rubbish. That ain't what I'm saying.
No. Oh,
You get a 9 to 5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9 to 5 person, right? You can function underneath that because I'm always saying the women say, "Oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money." Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9 to 5. Work regular. Save your money. Learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not
it's
like
not-
Andrew
There's
Tate.
always
But
direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, "No, I want Chris Brown." And then they'll try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, "I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated." Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal. You can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, "Oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that," men like me don't have to be, and you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting here pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting
They're
me.
going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that
So
girls make.
Whose fault is this? This is the female decision.
For clarity. Now, this is why the Godfather is no longer here, still is undefeated. Now, personally, even throughout the internet, y'all know I'm talking about Mr. KS. There was always this notion that if a man makes more, he's not going to explore his options. I remember the same broadcast that was a part of Mary Brown, and he shows a little snippet of some little information back in the days when men start to make a little bit more money, their options start to open up and they feel they can have more helms than they can handle. This also applies to the modern day of today, meaning that as he gets higher in status and told him, etc., the possibility of this man stepping out, if he's not stepping already, it does increase. I'm not going to tell y'all that some man that got it all is not going to explore his options. I will be lying to you. And the reason why, because it's going to show, and every woman wants that. And trust me, other women will knock you down, kick you, stomp you, just to get at your man, especially if your man is at a certain status financially, notoriety, etc. Women want that. And also, mind you, if he has one or two things, let me fall back and roll back. If he looks a certain way, attraction to the ladies, that makes him very valuable. If he has certain money, that's very attractive. It's one thing or other, but it's evident if a man, and most likely you gotta understand, most men are not gonna be always known for looks. Always what he is productive, his productivity, and not only to society but himself, that makes him more appealing. So as he jumps up and higher, the chance of him stepping out is very high. That's why you hear the Godfather always say, men don't cheat, they exercise option. Regardless how crappy and bullshit that sounds, it's actually factual. Now, most ladies, they want control man that has the status, and really, truly, no man can be controlled once he reaches a certain plateau, to be honest. Either with his program or you keep it stepping. Those are the only options. Let's continue.
Sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept he ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about, and it's like
only talks about that.
Well, yeah, that's what they talk about, Miss P things. You hear it all the time, and you always look at the men that said they got cheated on. Most likely, this dude might be on the average. He might have a lot of tattoos. He might look like he might have did some criminal activities. Might be, or he looks too so-called attractive in other ways from his face to if he keeps his body right. Those are the ones that they really want to control to the point where they'll be shocked if this dude is cheating on them. I mean, I think there was one little image picture, and matter of fact, let me find that picture and show y'all. I've received this from the one and only celebrity queen of accountability. Let me find the little share text, but let me keep playing. Fairies in effect.
The regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and say,
for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Yes.
How can you say that? Are you joking?
Okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's haram.
No, because
it's around when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been in the history of humanity, across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever. Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different.
Or, they don't have to be too beautiful. As, we call it Instagram, Facebook Messenger, all the little apps, even I think Telegram could do so too. All these unique and don't forget TikTok. Yes, TikTok's famous too. That there are plethora of gentlemen that will be hitting your DMs and be offering the phallus. I constantly notice when women post on social media, they always complain about how these men, young boys and men, that always go around and they like to show their private parts in the inbox. So it tells me there is always what we call room for a man's private parts for the ladies, phalluses. There's no shortage of that. But the problem is when they go that route and entertain it, it kind of does diminish the value in short and long term. Found the picture. This is the one I was trying to talk about the control factor. Where is it? Why is that popping up? Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Why some women love. It says here, I love effing with broke dudes so I can control them. Fix your attitude or no more 3.5 for you. Which I think she means she will stop giving the kitty box. How pleasing. Yes. Very pleasing. Anyway, let's continue. Various effect.
It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why. It is impossible for a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men and all of them are either high value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's
a woman, the 30-something or older woman in the middle, she's just sitting back and just enjoying all this. She's sipping all the tea. Or actually sipping her nice refreshing wine or lemonade. She has such usual tastes.
She's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just gonna go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da da da. And you know what's funny about the universe?
No comment.
It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very...
Yeah, I said, yo, Andrew Tate, you see that? He could sense. That's that extra spidey sense. Or what they call the 3 or 4 sense. It be going like this. My whole senses are tingling. I could feel it. Matter of fact, I'm itching. Is this girl? Look like she been on the carousel, the cock carousel too long. God damn, I'm itching. Jesus Christ. Certain men have that foresight. I tell you, dudes, young fellas, it takes years to develop that special sense. So you could look at a chick and say, yeah, she look like she's been on the carousel for a while, man. Shall I proceed? Nay or yay? Let's continue.
Be careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself and the world.
Now, he said it, promiscuous. And I'm sure if you ladies out here are very promiscuous, and it is your box. I mean, use it to your discretion. But we all know when a woman is too promiscuous, there can be some problems in the long term. I'm gonna say. Hey, let's continue. Various effect.
Knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second. So, may I ask you a question? What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Haram.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you'd know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
I'm asking.
Okay,
do you know?
I ask, what if they're different races?
Answer
One white,
the
one black.
question.
You don't know.
God damn. See? The logic kills you all the time. How do you know? You don't, because you're in a polyamorous relationship. And we all know a few ladies here and there that, you know, had too much fallacies in their system, you know. I mean, listen, let's get it. They said that the Johnson is good to the ladies, so they explore it all day, every day. So, you know, the right dude that has the right Johnson and, you know, constantly blowing that back out and, you know, penetrating not only her psychology, her brain, but also in her lower brain, in her womb. She don't really care which is the father. Think about it. We didn't have DNA tests used to find out whose child it is until the mid 80s. So for the past, as long before we had DNA testing, most men don't know if that kid's with theirs most of the time. So let's find that a woman sit there and she has fun with you and have fun with this dude, have fun with this dude, have fun with this dude. You think they really gonna know? Come on, let's really be honest. So she's not gonna answer that. Well, she has to answer the question because she's gonna look stupid, but they're not gonna answer that question. Why should they? You're gonna pay for it. Why you want to know if it's your child biology? Pay for it. Listen, one thing with society, especially here in dealing with Black people or Black community in general, that there is a term of DNA swapping and getting, you know, how can I say, getting a certain genetics from one man and having the other dude to have the resource to take care of it. It's like a win-win situation. If you think about it, gentlemen. She might give you some box or not, but you know, if you do get it, she could miraculously, you know, one day have you not put on the rubber so way you could feel that, you know, you're gonna bust in her, so she could, you know, let you know that it might be yours, but she already screwed Mr. Tyrone over the street, so it kind of, you know, so way it covers up nicely. Cause you're not gonna know. How will you know? Anyway, I'm just ranting. Let's continue. Very use and effect.
The question.
Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the two people who made it are. At least, if you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just
It's
say,
disgusting.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
Oh yeah, I saw that. May I just say something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's haram, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You have to look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago, if a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job, she couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted, because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, Shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity or at least a low body count or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me and put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then for survival, women needed a man. Otherwise, when they were pregnant, they could die and all of these things, they would perish. In today's society, given evolution, given the fact that as women we can go and get, yeah, but I'm not saying that. Isn't there a glitch between what is actually happening and the nature of what we have in our bodies? I think that's probably the conflict that we're having right now.
Glitch in what way?
in the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps
that's
like
right.
naturally.
It's very interesting. Women don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you still need men by proxy, one, and two, the second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go, I'm independent, I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans, and if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on fucking men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened, or times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the fucking window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or there's a fucking broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing. I'll make a point here, which is going to
get... If y'all watching, please like the stream. Share it in your own timeline if you feel so. I can see why the internet hates this dude. As much time you want to fight the so-called logic, he does make some good sense. One thing that gets me caught up is this OnlyFans nonsense. Rarely, I think only 1 or 2% people could potentially make like close to $250,000 or more dollars a year on OnlyFans. And I mean, only a small percent of women could do this. And mind you, the reason why OnlyFans was such a thing that was a come up to a lot of ladies that had it is because they know the nature of a lot of men. Too many men that simp and want it and yearning for the potentiality or the potential of the possibility of sex. And the possibility, that's what is always left to, the possibility of getting some. But there's no guarantee you will get some. So when they sit there and live and always fantasize of getting it, they will throw their hard-earned cash, their money, their dollar bills, just to please the opposite sex, to get that attention. Matter of fact, the funny thing, since I'm going into this little rant, I notice with majority of IG now, if you really have an IG account, because IG is mostly dominated by women, some women will create their IG accounts and say that join my this, that, and third to get a chance to speak to me. Now, mind you, this is something foreign. This is not always the case years, decades ago. But we live in modern times now, where even a woman say you must join and pay a subscription roughly over the a subscription that roughly average $4.99 a month just to inbox and talk to her. That's crazy. And not always crazy, but that's a waste of resource. What conversation you as a young man or older man you're gonna get paying a chick on her inbox or her subscription OnlyFans for $4.99 a month? What you really get? Because all you get at the end of the day, you're gonna be by yourself still. If you're not a person that likes to go out and shoot your shot on a lot of ladies, cute or average, and you're gonna go home to a dry phallus. Oh, I see some where you wrote beach and reach. 1 second. I'm old school. IG, we don't do that. Yes, well, Beach, you're well, actually, we're in a new year now, so you're now about to be soon 45. You're a Gen Xer for sure. The times you live back then in present day now, that's not some. Well, I can't speak for all people that's from the Gen Xer age. That you live in a different time where most of the time you had to interact with somebody to get to know somebody. People have to really have conversations, that talk, hang out, maybe date, old school ways. Not today on Beach. Nowadays, people are more antisocial more than ever. You notice that the interaction now for human beings are through text and social media. And really, truly, that's not interaction, in my opinion. But anyway, let me keep going. Various in effect.
Be canceled again, but I don't give a fuck. But this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. Any idea, the point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This has been the whole point of war since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against the Hindus, doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they're prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology. Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who could defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you would learn very quickly it's bullshit. I had a friend in Afghanistan when Taliban kicked America out, and he told me the Americans were telling the girls they could go to school. So they built all these girls' schools, and they put the Afghanistani defense forces there, and they funded the Afghanistan defense forces to protect these schools. You had American satellites, you had night vision goggles. Taliban were afraid to attack. America leaves. Now you have Afghani defense forces. They're basically blind. They don't have satellites anymore. Don't have night vision, whatever. So now it's a real war. The men are standing next to this girls' school. The Taliban are coming. You're some dude. You're standing there and you're looking at this girls' school going, I don't really give a fuck if girls go to school. Bounce. And you didn't fight. So that's why they all gave up and Taliban took over so quickly. And when I said this, the girls like, yeah, they should have fought for us, feminism. Why don't the women fight?
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, the women can't defend their own fucking idea. You need men to defend feminism. So that's why the whole thing is stupid. So the second men don't defend it, it just fails as a fucking ideology. It's garbage.
May I tell you something now?
Oh, sorry guys, I was muted. What's up? Salute, Afro Nation. I'm not sure how long I was. But anyway, I said there's a reason why the Afghanistans did what they did to really start get rid of schools and stuff, because they didn't really want their women to be indoctrinated into so-called Western education that will slip in a little feminism here and there. Because let's be honest, they have a certain mentality and a way how they do things to keep their so-called country in order. And in their mind, they don't want women to be getting heads up or equal to the man. And mind you, these are Eastern Europeans. Keep that in mind. Let's go to you, Barry, in fact.
now. So this is the thing. This is when we assume that women perhaps don't have the physical or even mental ability to go to a war. Wait. Because this is the thing. For example, in Ukraine, a lot of women took up arms. And in fact, I'm Angolan. I'm Angolan. I'm Angolan. And
don't lie.
Listen,
to the people at home.
Wait, no worries. I'll talk about my personal story. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. I think it's also really like silly to assume that, for example, a woman, because she didn't go to school, she'll not be as intelligent as a man. Therefore, naturally, a woman is not intelligent. No, it doesn't make sense. If we're now starting to normalize equality and we want to put everybody in the forefront, give a woman a
Who's
gun.
normalizing equality?
Well, that's what people are wanting. Then that's
People
the case.
like who?
Let me tell you, Auntie.
Who wants to normalize equality? People like who? Feminists. Who else
No,
wants to?
well, actually, no equality. I want respect. That's really
No,
all I
what's
want.
stopping you from getting respect?
Exactly.
No.
I get respect.
I get respect. I get respect.
So,
That's
you
what I
just
want.
said
That's
you
what I
want
like.
respect.
What I think is,
You don't even know what you want.
I'll tell you what I
don't
want.
know what you want. You want
As a
equality
woman, I
and you
carry
want
myself
respect.
differently. I actually hold the things that I have done in the fights that I fought. I hold it. That's why when you speak to me, I don't move different. I move different.
Afro National says all facts. It's about leading your society as men. Yeah. And let's be honest. Let's be clear. The average man, if he's in the right state of mind, he does not really seek or want a woman that's dumb. Now, ladies, be careful. Any man that said that he wants his woman to be not well educated, well read, know the basics, educated enough, you should not be messing with that dude, period. What as a man could do with a woman that is dumber than him, or even dumber? He does not serve a purpose. Now, normally, if you go to a university, your intelligence should be moved beyond university, like always. But let's say you do go to a 4-year or greater university, right? You should be able to pair bond, interact with a man without no problem, without no ego as a woman. If you can't do that, then you have to really check yourself. But overall, most men, if they keep telling you that you should be dumb and they keep harping it, you got to question his actual character as a man. Because what purpose you serve, or Jen, what purpose this relationship is going, and he wants you dumb? I'm just saying. Anyway, let's continue. Very safe fact.
To many of the girls. That's why when you talk to me and you argue with me, I don't take it. You do sometimes. And I'll tell you something. A lot of women may have the accolades to be somebody, but they are uncomfortable on that. And the reason why, then I would like to ask you, for example, I do need a man, for example, to, procreate. But other than that, I'm quite strong. And I would find a way to protect myself. With that mentality, man, that'll be for me then.
Nova, what would you do if one of these security guards broke into your door?
What would I do? Okay, I'll tell you.
What would you do? What would you do? No, seriously, there's no guns here.
She's a feminist.
I'll tell you. No, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter. Okay, Either I play dead, one. Yeah.
Okay, they see you're not dead.
It's okay.
They
No, I'd be
breathing.
like this. And then if not, maybe I would kind of like be very gentle and comply to find a way to get out of it.
So
if they want to come and kill me, there's not much that many people can do.
But let's make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine.
Hold on. See another message. Let me look. It states and it writes. Hold on, I can't read that. Let me see. All right. As much as I don't like to use Afghanistanians as an example, their whole point is to avoid Western ideology, influence their people so they can continue to exist as a nation. Yes, there is problematic with the West in the short term and long term of how they're trying to indoctrinate the whole world so they can get the whole world to be in an upside down, topsy-turvy, like here in the West. But most third world or other first world nations are not going to always, or they are fighting what the West is trying to do to indoctrinate the whole world into American ideology and American way of living. I do agree, and I do see that. And they're going to continue fighting because once they see how America really runs and how it operates, most people that's not born here or they come here, they don't really like how America's going in the short term and in the long term of things. And we know we have weird and bad up here. So, yeah, that's why they fight it, to keep it away from their own country. So I agree with you, Afro National. Let's continue. Fair use and effect.
There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect by being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets fucked up. We try and pretend it's all the same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight in war. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai. Chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at other things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. Yeah. That's what happens when if all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line of reality. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman and say, okay, I need a man who's good at being a man.
But no one's saying that we don't need men in society, of course.
I don't know if anybody in the chat room agree or disagree with Mr. Tate. Like I said, women operate and move and say and speak the way they do because the world is already in their eyes civilized, because it protects them from all the ill effects of the actual hardship of this environment. And that's why they act as bold as they always have been. I'm looking here. So, like I said, once the lights turn off and the real beasts come out at night, they become as soft as kittens again. Trust me on this. This man is not capping. He's telling the real truth. All right, so let's continue. Fair use effect.
Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
Oh, Pearl, stop
like
it.
in my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
But listen, right?
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No. I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationships, the only reason I actually need you.
Can you hear me? All right, sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second. Let's have a quick little issue. She's back and running. Give me 1 second. Be back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Where was I? Yeah, she was going in on this thing about her views, but we're gonna continue with the video. Is this the one? I'm probably going to have to fast forward some things because my thing went down.
Unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. That's what happens when if all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be
Let me fast forward that.
Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
Oh, Pearl, stop
Like
it.
in my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
But listen, right?
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No, I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationships, the only reason I actually need you is because I want you. I don't actually need you.
Do you know what?
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, I don't need you.
The reason why she said that because the world that was, structured by men made it that way, that they feel endowed that they don't need men. But when, like I said, when the lights turn up and there's a creak in the noise, you're going to nudge some man and say, baby, take care of that. Anyway, let's continue. Fair yourself back.
Do my day-to-day life.
What if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just call the police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average is
Play dead.
In the US it takes like 15
and give them everything.
In the US it takes like 15 minutes for them to get there.
But that's not realistic. That doesn't happen on a day-to-day life.
These two guys in your house, what are you doing?
But that's not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day-to-day. It doesn't happen.
The point is,
so let's be realistic now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So
in society, you are needed. I agree. Okay, of course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like, obviously,
because of the They got something
and we just talk about men. Sorry, I love men.
No,
I love dick.
We don't sound like it, but it's not all about dick. What I'm trying to say is that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs. Right, and that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, geez,
they don't want to be doing no pink jobs.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? Because you want a partner.
Companionship, friendship, romantic love, things that you can't get by yourself.
Like, you want to go on dates with him. It's not about, I need someone to fix my car. Like, go to a mechanic. You're not safe. Call the police. It's not
Wait. What about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids need a dad?
You can be around. I definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the reason I need a man. I agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree. And these are the stuff that I need in a man. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. But
the whole point is, if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
In society, agree.
Why do we act like women are so not?
Turn off the lights and get a little closer. But really, truly, the real issue with all this is, even today's society, especially in the West, the necessity of man, unless you get in the sperm, that's what most. I mean, well, I would say a good portion of modern women today really need a man for. And now they got the sperm banks. And as you know, if you're a black man here in this society, it is very rare to find what they call black sperm. Because most black men are not in the business just going and shooting their load on a cup. They're just not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I don't expect them to do it either. But like I said, and even that is gonna outlive its usefulness. But overall, you know, they're gonna keep trying. They're gonna keep trying. All right, so let's continue. Fair use and effect.
No,
Useless.
It's not that
I
deep.
can change a tire.
I'm saying if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you. You
Yes,
would.
of course.
Can
in
I-
society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go
Can I-
underground.
Like, half of my exes can't even do anything.
Can I?
That's actually another problem. A lot of men can't do much.
Do you know what I mean?
Not everybody's
in this day
strong.
and age, in this day and age, guys can't even
Listen,
fit a tire.
You
It's
cannot.
actually
You
ridiculous.
cannot. No.
Women can't cook.
Hang on a
Not
minute.
you, my sister.
But I can cook. I can cook.
brothers.
And the
Hang on a
thing
minute.
is,
Andrew Tate, speak to your brothers. They don't know how to do
listen,
I'm not
nothing.
even saying.
Guys.
Can I just say
We
something?
have to do one at a time.
Can I just say something? This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you're saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do? Because my man could do all the blue
I
jobs.
need a man.
Because
that
most
is
men
a
grow up with a
father.
PlayStation
jobs.
instead. Most
No.
men grow up with a
It's
PlayStation
the men
and
that you're
porn and
choosing.
things.
Yeah, it's
No,
not.
that's the truth.
It's not. It's not.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
That's the men you
Listen,
pick.
I tell
I'm
you what,
sorry,
right?
I don't need a mechanic
I'm the
as my
same.
boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a father to my children. I don't need.
You know something, right? She needs a
police
father. Hang on a minute.
officer.
She needs a father for her children, right? So
Yeah.
she's gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put out the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube. I know how to do these things.
I
I fixed a Bentley before.
Why
I
do you
fixed
need
a
man?
Bentley.
If you can do everything yourself,
Damn. Some women doing some real masculine stuff. I ain't gonna lie about that. Says she could do it. She just YouTube it. You can tell she ain't want no man. For any significance, personally. Anyway. Let's continue.
go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's the future, I
And
think,
the thing
you
is,
know.
that's the future for who?
No, of
That's
like
the problem.
society.
Because at the end of the day, right,
What
listen,
year are you
hang
living
on.
in?
The
What
year that
year
you
are
supposed
you
to be
living in?
Because
Like,
hang on a
you
minute.
act like
Wait,
we are in the Stone Age.
Let me finish talking. Let me finish talking, right? Now, you got a man, right? And you've been busy all day, right? And you're in your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. And your man comes in with all of his friends and said, oh, babes, all the friends are here. They're hungry. What you going to do?
Yeah, I'll cook for my man. I'm a traditional woman in that.
Now, mind she is a European Nigerian lady. Very westernized. Very westernized. Now, you know, she wouldn't be talking that crap. She was back home in her motherland, the section of Nigeria. Nigerian men don't play that. They don't. They just don't. To find that some of the women are educated and they have this Western mindset, they will not last. Oh no, they will not last at all. Unfortunately. Let's continue.
I love to cook
Why
for my
is
man.
it that when people start cooking, they think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking. They always say, I cook for my man, so I'm traditional.
I have a question.
No,
I have a
but the
question.
point is,
Wait. I have a question. Are you virgin? You're traditional, you're virgin.
Are you a virgin?
I
that's
said in that aspect. I'm not going to comment on me being a virgin or not. But what I'm going to say is every human being should be able to cook.
She's a
Man or
hybrid
woman.
of tradition and modernization.
I'm a person that survives. You know, I need to cook to
Right.
survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right? Right, I'm going to ask you something.
Sure.
Right, because I can't.
Yeah, Andrew Tate is sit back, chill, let's see these women rant. This is ridiculous.
I don't like bullshit, right? And there's certain people that I can't
Why are you
even
so
bear talking
excited,
to,
man?
right? So I'm going to talk to him because so far he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right.
No.
Who said pick me?
Oh, There you go. There you go. There you go. Say you'll pick me. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ladies, anytime you have friends that's calling you pick me for a reason, you need to end the friendship. I'm sorry. The term pick me has been used so loosely, so incorrectly. It's just madness. I'm just saying.
Listen, who just said pick me?
They want me. Don't look at me.
I said it. Give it pick me. Give it because we're having a whole conversation.
Listen,
I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr. Tate.
Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think that woman? Would you think that woman? Just calm down. I'm loud. I'm naturally. You don't want to hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that make you feel? What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's a top G. You can't be asking him this question.
But you
about
don't
us
want
mere
top Gs,
mortals.
innit?
We're mere mortals, Auntie.
Speak for yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
I'm a mere mortal in his presence.
Because nobody
Come on
above
now.
me.
Which kind of question be that?
Auntie, unlike you, we have options.
I'm a mere mortal.
Unlike you, we have options.
Have you ever seen just pure women just going back and forth? It just gets annoying. I wish I could fast forward, but I don't know where to continue, where they stop ranting. So bear with the back and forth people. It just gets annoying. It just gets too annoying. Anyway. Very in fact.
But it's 8.5.
If you have options, then where's your ring?
That is the most stupid thing.
Because I actually can choose. I've not found a man that I want to be with. Okay, that's I know your reality. I know your reality is you gotta beg a man to keep you.
Hang on a minute. You said, unlike you, I have options.
We have options. Yeah.
You're out here looking for a man. You're out here saying that you're looking for a
When
man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
I said I was doing it.
That is what you said.
I didn't say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing it.
Hang on a minute.
You come to me. I'm gonna decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on, listen. All right, then what do you call it?
insulting you.
Sign language. What I'm learning. Sign language. Right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my man.
You don't really have much options though. Because the way
No,
you're like,
it's not pick me. Auntie, she meant clout. Wait. She meant Esther. I'm sure you didn't mean pick me. You meant clout chaser. Is that what it is?
It doesn't matter.
We could go with that too.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
Because you have totally lost it. Why would I want to have options when I've been in a happy relationship for 32 years?
No, clout chasers is fans.
It don't make no sense.
You can monetize on YouTube with clout.
Why are you calling her a pick me when you were the one advertising at the beginning of the show?
But that's the point. You're picking because you're saying things that they don't want to fucking hear. You better be on my side. We gotta be F and F these men. F Negro free. Yes. Anyway. But she's looking for clout. Don't be fooled. This Nigerian lady wants the clout. She wants all the shine. And mind, she's the same age as Pearly. No, Pearly at 26. This Nigerian woman on the right, 26. The only thing I don't like about her is, she got a nasty demeanor of herself. But nonetheless, she probably might be fun in the bed more than anything else. Greetings, Calvin Henderson. How you doing? Make sure you like the stream, bro. All right, let's continue.
I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising nothing.
It's banter.
Wait.
Do you guys understand what an interview means?
Okay.
What you
All right.
She's being spicy, guys. Stop it.
Auntie had a question for Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
He didn't answer because everybody's too busy jumping. Everybody's too busy jumping in. I already asked, but you're not too busy jumping in and being women.
He's patient.
To be listening. So
He's
now
ready to get married.
You can all shut up and let him answer, innit?
I'll answer. Yeah. So to go back to one of my earlier points, Firstly, to make it clear in the disagreement, I agree with, of course, I think everyone knows who I agree with. But I do, because you know what it is, though? You know what's actually funny? The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix
destroyed.
it.
It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been bad decisions from power.
In some way, maybe, but you know, this, like James Brown said, is a man's world. We're living it. And like always, you know, men want to be challenged in nature. So when they talk about men destroys and F up things, some men are destructive. That's why it takes other men to combat other destructive men. There's the balance. Capiche? Let's continue. Very fact.
For men that got men to go to wars and for women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And that the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he...
Right, before he gives the game out, you must understand, the game has to be sold, never paid. I'm not sure why most men want to give game, personally. I mean, I think most people don't deserve no game. Especially ladies, because you give them game, they're just going to reject it. Because if it's not something that they like or something that favors them for more control, the game you give them will go one ear and it'll come out the other. Not saying some women will utilize it to their own advantage, but most of them, they don't give a crap what type of advice you give them because they look at you as inferior. So any information you relate to them that will help them in a betterment, they're going to look at you and laugh in your face. And that's just the honest truth. And it's sad for me to say it, but I keep real.
He wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you, one of the ways a man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
Okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I'd say, I met this girl. Yeah, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went. The attraction goes from this to zero. Done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices. But men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status. That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, etc., and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure. Da, da, da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G, boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect.
See, that's that 3 or 4 senses. It's tingling. That weird sound. You ever hear that Spider-Man where it's like, that's that 3 or 4 senses. It's tingling. My 3 or 4 senses are tingling. Because you can sense while even looking at the chick. Say, wait, I sense in the presence of a bitch rolling her eyes. I don't know why that is, but why is she rolling her eyes? Tell you this man is dangerous, people. He ain't nobody to mess with. So I gotta say, he ain't no man to mess with. That's just a fact.
These things, even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it. So I'm gonna give her some of my Clementine, and she's gonna feel better. So I'm gonna get a Clementine.
Man, she ain't. Let me keep playing. She ain't shit for that. Fair use.
Would you like some Clementine, my dude?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like.
I asked you a question. Would you like some
I would love some. Yeah.
You want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right. Go on. Continue.
Okay. What?
No, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective. And I do feel like, this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships, why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like, even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat, but not for you. My thing is like, why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you? That's like, to me, where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like,
right.
why can't we have transparency?
okay.
And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it? No man in a million years. Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is going to meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how
Time, resources,
Wrong.
and something else.
Time, resources. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid. I'm in a Bentley. I fly private. I go to Dubai anytime I want. I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me. This is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife. She's pushing a Bentley. She has a kid. She's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
but
you-
she's just like, whatever, don't care. I'm the one who has the money. Don't give a shit. So you have to sit there, and to a point, you have to sit and analyze the difference when you're saying disrespect. If you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes. Okay. There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid. I'm looked after. I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. So end the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
You just
ask-
have to bite the bullet.
But Andrew, that was the whole point of the conversation. Don't cheat. You F with me, I'm going to find your friend and give him the box. It's just that simple. And then after that, she get bored, she goes, move on to the next man. Listen, in America, there is a such thing as polyandry, when women have multiple men, as you know. That's just evident. So if she feels that you're gonna go far left, she already got a man right there in her DM, in her phone, in her messenger, ready to sit there, line up, and give the goodies. And she's gonna explore giving the goodies to other men. Because let's be honest, I mean, there's no shortage of phalluses for women. Because all she had to do is, give in. As much as I'm trying to be PG with this conversation, Andrew Tate has a very potty mouth. So we're going to continue with this. And I'm probably going to try to get roughly halfway through this, if possible. But let's continue. Fair use and effect.
But more mild examples, though.
Wait. I have a question. Is there ever cheating that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point where she?
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So, like, if he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
all
far?
right. So first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar. So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
And he peeled it. What a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman. Right. So obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman. Right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that. Right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home. Took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me. Status. But it's stupid to females. I get it. But that's the male world because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why men even cheat in the first place. I'm telling you, if you're a woman, the smartest thing you can do is look after your man, make him not want to cheat, be perfect. But there's going to be a time across a 20-year marriage you might just need to be a little bit blind. A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
He's going to unpack that. What do you mean blind? You tell me that after she do all that and in approaching almost 20 years into, let's say if a marriage lasts that long, you're going to be going around and giving other women the phallus. Is that the argument you try and present, Mr. Tate? How can a woman go blind when her eyes are still wide open on you? It's not possible. In my opinion, I don't think it's ever possible. I think that notion he brought is considered bull crap, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Especially she's doing everything that she can do. I mean, it will be respectful. It will be just respectful. Be respectful, actually, not disrespectful. But you get the point, y'all guys. Let's continue. Fair use and effect.
Don't look at his phone.
So
and you'll be cool. You'll be cool. Just make sure the bills are paid. He does his jobs, the man.
What if you can pay your own bills, though?
But this is...
It's like he said, like Mr. Kerr said, the high value man does not cheat, but he does exercise the options. And that's what he's telling you, ladies. So let's continue.
We'll talk about that in a second, but I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat on you.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter. It's a different game for men, right? So you're sitting there going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today, fuck it, someone else. He was rude to me, fuck it, I'll cheat. He was this, I'll get a new boyfriend. And then you end up just jumping on cock all day and you're fucking done. You need to, the reality is there has to come a point where you get a guy and he ticks boxes and you're like, you know what, I'm wifey, I got the Bentley, he does whatever he does, but my bills are paid. That's it.
that is, you know, I'm gonna find a soundbite for this thing they call the cock carousel, because that's what he just laid out in layman terms. That, you know, if things don't go so well for the ladies, they say, "Oh, screw it, moving on, next." It's like an endless roller coaster ride. That's what it is. That's what we call riding the cock carousel. It is such a lovely experience. Some ladies will be honest, and make sure guys like the stream if you're watching. They will explore those options, Mr. Tate. Because like I said, in the West, the first world nation, men is not really required, unfortunately. But you get the point. Greatest in fact.
When would you say?
Fair enough.
When would you say it's too far? I'm just curious if there's a line that you would like if he spends money on another girl. If he like, when does it?
Okay, that's a good question.
And other second question: do you think that men ever fall in love with side chicks?
Very good question. And this is a long and in-depth answer, but it's a good question. Let me peel my clementine.
That's a good question. Good question. Tread lightly, sir, when you answer this question. Don't be a Derek Jackson when you answer this question. Very in effect.
But no, but it's a good question. Where is too far? I think publicly disrespecting is too far. So like you'll notice. Let's take the Moscow G. All right, let's take an oligarch, a billionaire from Moscow. He has his wife. He has the girls he's in the club with. The girls he's in the club with wouldn't fucking dare message his wife. They wouldn't dare step out of line. Like, they know their place, right? So if there's a hierarchy and they know their place, that's one way of doing it. Mm-hmm. Spending money on a girl, certainly, yeah, because men show love primarily through our hard work, not just through our resource, but through our hard work. If you take a man who's not particularly rich, he shows his wife love by getting up every day, going to work 9 to 5, working his ass off and paying those bills. That's how he shows love. That's why he does it, for his wife and his children. Most men are out here working bullshit jobs, carrying trash. They're doing that to show love. So giving money, yeah, that would be a far more scary indicator than just sex. Let me give you all an example. I don't know if you all know my history, but I used to run a webcam business a long time ago. Don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But I had a bunch of girls who used to sit online and talk to guys, and they had laptops, right? This is a long time ago. And I used to sit and say to some of the webcam girls, I'd say, this man who is sitting in and logging in every night and sending you money every day and telling you he's obsessed with you from the other side of the world and missing out on time with his family to sit here and talk to you and send you money, that is more cheating than if he just went out and banged something. If he went out and banged something and came home, then done. But he's sitting here giving you his time, his money, his affection. That's cheating for a man. For a man to sit there and give money and time away, right? Yeah. So you have to stop this idea of sexual exclusivity. Yes, that's for females. That's how females show their love to men. It's not how high status, at least, males show their love to females. And anyone who wants to disagree with me, call me wrong, call me misogynist, whatever bullshit. Look at a history book. Every king, every sultan, every conqueror, every emperor, every knight, all of them had maidens, wives, all of them. That's history.
What level of G do you have to be allowed to cheat?
Well, it's not about even being allowed to cheat. I'm not even saying that. And it also depends on the partner you're with. I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for men to run around and fuck a bunch of women. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I'm not.
No. Let him explain. Let him land. Let him land. It's about to come. Now, our sister, let him land.
No, but I'm not. What I'm actually trying to do is describe the baseline unfortunate realities of human dynamics. And I'm trying to explain now to the world that any woman can get a man who will not cheat on her if she's prepared to sacrifice a bunch of other things, perhaps, right? In the olden days, it was different. The world was a different place. It was a completely different place, and it was better. Now it's all fucked up. It's fucked up on every level. And men, especially the high status men, most of them have struggled so hard to become high status. They've been through so much shit to get where they are. It's like telling him, if you climb this mountain, you can go to a candy store. And he climbs to the top of the mountain, and the second he's in the candy store, after one piece of candy, that bitch is saying no. He's like, no, I just climbed this mountain. I just got rich. I just went through X, Y, Z. I finally got here. I'm finally in the candy store. Now you're telling me I can only have one piece of candy?
Okay.
What man's gonna...
Yes. She said that you're mine and mine alone. No more sweet candy. She's going, anytime you take your hand out or put your hand in the cookie jar, she's ready to take your hand, go off your hand. Don't touch that, because you're her property, my dude. You got the money? Excellent. You're her property. You got the status? Excellent. You're her property. Don't you dare look at another woman. Don't googly eye. That's the message. That's the premise she's telling you. And if you try and you have an inclination of you going to really give a thought of looking and pegging or having intercourse with another woman, there will be consequence and repercussions. So she said, F your status, F how you achieve this, you're mine. All right? But that's what she's laying out to you and telling what it is and where things are going to go and move forward. All right, very simple.
Do you think that men owe a woman loyalty if she was there from the beginning?
Absolutely. They absolutely owe that woman loyalty.
Oh, sorry, sexual loyalty. That's what I meant.
Sexual exclusivity is different. Sexual exclusivity and loyalty are completely disconnected for males. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the unfortunate reality. It's true. I'm telling you, you can get a man, he can go on a holiday, can fuck some stripper, can come home, and you can lie detector test him. Do you love your wife? Would you die for your wife? Would you take a bullet for your wife? He'll pass the lie detector test. He loves her with all his heart. He'd do anything for her. It's just pussy. It's not a big deal. It's different.
I feel like, I guess my question would be then is like, how do you view sex? Because I like sex at the end of the day is spiritual unification. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different stuff. I've had a lot of different experiences where I did not value myself. So I never had a man that valued me. So it's like, yeah, you rack up guys and guys you shouldn't be texting back or whatever. But I feel like I understand that there is a difference with how men view sex and how they move around in the world. But it's like, sex is a sacred thing, no matter male or female is doing it. So that's why for me, like my biggest, like the hardest for me to understand is like, this is such a sacred thing. And it's like taking a piss for a guy.
Can I just say something? You sure you weren't making love to somebody that was having sex?
I'm sorry?
You sure that you weren't making love to somebody that was just having sex?
Hey, auntie, that's
have I
in there.
No, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like as women, they make love to men that are just having sex.
Right.
That's the difference.
That's not the point.
But my thing is, okay.
I think when men hear that though, it's like if it was sacred to you, you would have waited till you were married.
But it's like right. No, I get that. But the reality is that the world is not so black and white. So I understand that there are these things in place that worked and made sense. And now we're approaching an era that like we don't know what's going to happen. But there's gray area. You've had sex. I've had sex. She's had sex. We've had sex with different guys. That doesn't mean that we're damaged goods. We're used goods. I understand status is a bit.
Well, unfortunately, my good and my dear Rainer, you are. If you are on the cock carousel for long as you say you have been entertaining to normal, modern, and above average men, they'll look at you as damage. I mean, damage goods. You know what's funny? Thinking about all this, when we compare the sexual polarity and activities of men and women, it is really not the same. And let's be honest. Some men, if you ask the question, ladies, do you want your woman to be experienced in the bedroom? It's hard for me to really fathom. Majority of men will say yes. And the reason why they will say that and tell you that, ladies, is because the more you're well experienced, the more that in the back of their mind, as a man now, that you've been putting yourself out here too much. Because if you're able to do these things, these nasty things, we know you're not going to be just doing this on him. You probably done this with your last boyfriend, your last jump off, or etc. Men are always rationalizing, who have you not screwed? That's how the man psyche works. So there's difference when in regards to the experience of sex. Now, in the second conversation, we would like it that both men and women are virgins before they interact, have sex, and eventually get married. But because we don't live in them old days, we live in modern times. Everybody's having sex. Everybody's getting a nut off. unfortunately. So let's continue. Fairies in effect.
Big part of that. I understand that sex is viewed differently, but I feel like you should not. If you're looking at face value, I can understand why you would be judged from your past. But if I'm a guy interested in you, I don't care about what you've done.
But that's the thing. Like men do though. That's the.
Like I said before, you might not care, baby, but the men do. Even to the point when you write a tell-all book. And what was the book she wrote again? Let me check what the book she wrote, man. I think it's called Judge This Chick. I don't know if that's what it's called, but yeah, so it is different between men and women. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Fairies in effect.
Thing like a virgin's more valuable to a man than a girl that's had sex with multiple men. Like it just is what it is.
There's a limit.
But the modern man's solution is not a virgin. A modern man needs a partner, somebody that's actually smart and can survive in the world of today.
But I'm saying the men with
and
the
that's
most,
going to be a lived woman.
The men with the most choice are going to pick women that are more pure in general.
The ones that are already self-made, I guess so. But that's the thing. The reality is that there's a lot of men out there, especially in the world that we live in today, that need a partner. So it's time for those masses of men to start respecting women for the role they can play in their lives.
I don't think average men expect women to be virgins.
Do you know what it is?
But it's this rhetoric that actually then is pumped into these minds and creates what people now complain about, the misogynistic world.
No, do you know?
That's what it is. Even in schools, it's like permeated through it all and perpetuated.
Why is it misogynistic for men to prefer women that are more
It's
pure?
not that that's not the problem. The problem is now, listen, the maths is very simple. You've got people like Andrew Tate talking about these things with such clarity, and it makes so much sense because it is true, right? And then you have men that are in these situations where just average, working an average job, and they cannot fulfill whatever definition is called to be a man in these.
Yes, they can, and that's what he said. He did say that. Yes, they can.
No,
a 9 to 5 man can do it.
But then again, wait. This is the thing. What we're talking about
now, mind you, this woman, I will have taken she probably is maybe single or whatever, right? Her tastes in men are totally different, or actually it's mostly common to the modern woman today. She don't want no man that, works something. She actually wants a man that's doing better than her, because last time I checked, she says she has her own business, I believe, and making her own money. So the man she deal with, she want a man that's as equal or above her. But the problem is, at her age, say if you got this and attain this, then it should be no problem that you should be able to get a man of some value. But as we know, when most men, they don't deal with certain women with a certain attitude if she even got her own. And that's the vibe I'm getting off of her, because it sounds good, but when you say that a man can't obtain this, I mean, you're shortchanging yourself, baby. Most men work as hard as they can just to survive and maybe take care of someone else. It is what it is. But anyway, let's keep going. Fairies in effect.
As a man, and this is why I say it's very important for us to understand the person that we're speaking to, and I'm very glad that you clarified everything that you mean. Not every man is like Andrew Tate. Not every man is going to be able to even realistically demand for certain things from a woman. So the same way women need to compromise if it comes to a man who is going to cheat on her because he's a top G, is the same way men are going to have to compromise and stop blabbing about purity when they can't demand for that.
You didn't get none of what you didn't get none of what
I
he was
made my
saying.
point. That was the whole point.
What point? Well, duh. What? Because you just quoted him. You just said about his thing, and you didn't.
Not only did I get clout, I made my point. I said the average man does not have what it takes to demand for a virgin.
Hang on a minute. He already said that.
And I reiterated in my own words for my own content for my page. And
do you
so
know
what?
It is, right? Is that too many women, they see regular guys and they feel they're settling. You're not settling. You're getting what you deserve.
But you can't be asking
You're not
for
settling.
a virgin, though.
You're not settling.
But the difference is men know this. Like most average men aren't
the average men never said they were a virgin.
But the difference is wait. The difference is average men know they don't deserve a 10. They know they don't deserve an 8. They know they don't even deserve a.
Actually, there's no such thing as 10s out here. I'm not sure why people still using this rubric of everybody as a top 10. Do you know what that in compose of 10? 10 is what is considered all perfection. Meaning, and let me give you details from my perspective. What mean perfection? 1, you do not have tattoos. 2, you don't have no piercings. 3, you are friendly, humble, and will pair bond with a man without no issues. 4, you're able. And I mean, you're able to not only satisfy men, but be satisfied as well. And 5, your body is natural as what God has made it, meaning you don't have fake hair, fake anything, including no type of surgeries, BBLs, breast implants, etc. You are as perfect as you are. And not only you have no imperfections of deformities from your fingers to your feet. And not only that, and I go on what is perfection. That you have no flaws. That means you do not lie. You don't do all this stuff. That is what we consider perfection. Human beings are not perfect by nature. So every time when people keep giving women and tell women they are 10, 11, 20, you're delusional. You're just hyping their head. There's no such thing as 10. That's what I kind of respect when Kevin designed the scale. 1, I think, similar to a 7, and you can't go anything beyond or beyond a 7. Let's continue. Very recent effect.
7.
And they still go messaging them on the stories and do all this dumb
they're
stuff
not,
that's just
though.
ugly.
Like most men in history haven't even reproduced. And so it's like men know, but the women are the ones that are delusional.
There's
That's why you
regular
have
men
Lizzo
out there. There's regular
shooting her
men
shot
out
at
there.
Chris Hemsworth.
There's,
Chris Hemsworth.
there's regular men out there that will have you down.
Yeah, but can I just say, people are watching Tate, not understanding that Tate is part of that 1% of
How good
success
do you
women,
feel, Sajid?
and they think that they can demand the same thing.
No, they
can
okay.
demand
Well,
purity.
one second. Sorry. I understand the point you're all making, but let's understand something. To the sexual marketplace, females have always been, and still to a degree are, the gatekeepers. It's men will, you can think about it in a very simplistic way. This is not the case, but let's simplify it for the sake of argument. Imagine men will run around and fuck anything, and women are the ones who say yes or no. You are the gatekeepers that have all the power. And this is what's actually truly interesting about the sexual marketplace, because whenever women go, there's not enough good men, then why are you fucking, of course, why would they be good if you don't make them be good? You're fucking losers. So,
That's a good point.
So women, so you're talking about,
Boom, boom.
I'm saying that, the man at a certain level can't do certain things. If you were with Joe Schmo and he wasn't treating you the way you believe Joe Schmo should treat you, then why are you with him?
Leave. Sis, leave.
Like women have the gatekeeping. So if you get Joe Schmo and he treats you like you're his queen and treats you perfect, good. If you get a fucking guy at the absolute upper echelons of value and you still aren't happy with what he's giving you, then leave. Women are the gatekeepers. You women actually have all of the power. This is what's beautiful about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Women are constantly complaining. You have all the power. You're the ones who get to choose. Do you know who you should be mad at for all this shit? I'll tell you who you should be mad at. Do you know who threw away all the female power in the sexual marketplace? Promiscuous females. Because now you got chicks who will bang anybody without trying. So why should a dude get up and try?
No,
Do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, let me make this clear.
Go on,
Do
sir.
you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, no bullshit, a man? And I say this and women go, oh yeah, dude, as soon as most women encounter any kind of problem, the first thing they do is turn to a man. Their man, their dad, the mechanic, the police, a man. If you actually put a woman in front of a problem and go, no men, they're like, oh, whoa, fuck. It's a mental breakdown. Men, day after day, especially if you're a high-level man, let me make it something clear from my life. I'll talk from personal experience. I'm not just looking after me. I'm not just looking after my chick. I'm the guy in about 300 people's phone books that they call when anything big goes wrong. You get arrested in Russia, you need extraction from Ukraine, you need $1 million, whatever it is, Kazakhstan, abduction, they call me. I'm the first phone call. I'm fixing 400 different lives. I'm a problem solver. Chicks can't fix fucking any of this shit, right? This is how hard it is to be a man. And it's amazing because society expects it of you, but so do women. If you had a man, be honest, you had a man and you went to your man and said, oh, I've got this problem. I can't fix this. It's broken. The car tire's broken. And he went, I don't know. You would dry up. Like, you'd be like, well, fucking, what the fucking point are you? That's the truth. You could sit here and go, oh, we'd call a mechanic. No, you wouldn't. You'd look at your man and go, what do you mean you can't fix it?
I'll do it
and this
myself,
is what
waste
she,
man.
and this is what she said.
Now, everybody know that a woman that says waistman, that's a European United Kingdom lingo for worthless man. That's what she mean by waistman. Last time I remember. But let's continue. Fair use in effect. Fair use.
About your man will get up and go, and you know what's beautiful about masculinity? A bunch of times a man will go up and he doesn't have a clue how to fix it himself. But he'll go, don't worry, baby, okay. And he'll stand up with no money and no clue, and he'll go out there and fucking try and find a way, because as a man, you need to be useful. It is so difficult to be a man. You have no idea the amount of pressure that we're under from society and from the women we even want to associate with. On a whole, it's difficult. So you have to keep all these things in mind. It's hard.
But can I ask you a question? You see what you just said about, the top G, that if they had money, you can fly planes and fly that. Drop it down to if you were earning, like, say, 50,000 a year.
Yep.
Couldn't you be that same person amongst your peers?
100% you
That's
could.
what I'm trying to say.
100% you could. And also you have to...
money doesn't make you a top G.
No, money's an amplifier. So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork...
Say it again. Wait. Money is an amplifier. It's difference. It amplifies you.
Can you get rich? You're a rich dork. If you're a G and you get rich, you're a top G. Right? So that's the first thing about money. And I agree with you. But traditionally, and this is the baseline, and once again, when I say these things, I'm not looking to be attacked for being misogynist. I'm just commenting on how I view the world and how I see things. Traditionally, a man primarily gives his attention to a female to get sex, and she gives him sex back to get the attention. That's the swap, right? So if I'm a dude and I want sex from a girl, I give her attention, I talk to her, I hang out with her, I spend time with her, eventually I get the sex. That's how it works. But the higher value you are as a man, the more valuable your attention is, the more valuable your time is, the less you have to give. It's like potency, right? So I can give 5 minutes to a chick, and that's worth 2 weeks of some other dude's time. But that's the reality. So where you are on the scale is just basically how much of your time you have to give. Now you can still give.
As y'all watching, make sure you like the stream. You can share if you choose to. As you know, Andrew Tate is going and taking these lovely ladies to school, teaching Brittany Renner, teaching the African young Nigerian woman on the wearing the brown, and teaching the older heads some things. I hope y'all get some out of this. Trust me, I'm getting some out of it, unfortunately. But, like I said, throughout most of the conversation, I can't really disagree with Andrew Tate in regards to some forms of masculinity. I think overall, the thing that makes him or make people feel away or triggered, because as much times how his delivery is, they can't defeat the logic in the long term. So if you could get through his, harsh tone, you might learn something. And I mean, you might learn something. Anyway, let's continue. Various effect.
Give all your time to a woman, treat her like a queen, be respected by your peers. She can be happy with you. I'm not saying she will be in fact, I'll argue she'll be happier with that man than she'll be with a fucking guy like me. I'm not even out here saying I'll make chicks happy. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that she'll get the amount of time that she's going to want from that man. The amount of attention is linked to his status. But at a true high-level status of man, it's 2 DMs. Boom, boom. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, done.
This kind of leads into my next question. Do women prefer to be monogamous with a low-value man or share a high-value man?
Well, look at society and you tell me.
Monogamous.
Ask me.
Wait, so let's ask the single ladies. What would you prefer?
I would prefer someone who's monogamous. I left a situation where I got the Bentley, I had all that, I had the kids, I had that. That was great. I want a companion. I want real love. And to me, what monogamy means to me is someone who's committed to themselves. That's like, the answer is within you. And to be honest, I feel like, again, like the sex has been lost in translation and what it means. I don't care, man or female. It's been lost as it's so sacred. So for me, I have kind of taken those blinders off where I'm like, okay, he has to be here. I'm okay with dating the trainer in Austin, Texas. That's just where I'm at. Like, I don't need a certain thing because I know what I'm wanting. Most guys in that percentage are not going to give me. So I would rather have a monogamous man than someone who can do whatever.
So you think the personal trainer is going to be monogamous? They're like known for cheating, no?
Well, I mean, here's my thing. Like, I get it. Like, I don't generalize people because I'm one of the most misunderstood people online as well. And I feel like there's a lot more to me, and I don't like to just put everyone in a box. I'd like to get to know people. So no, I'm not going to just say, oh, well, of course he's going to cheat on me. Like, no.
Okay. Would you take a guy that makes $35,000 a year and had a dad bod?
Had a dad bod?
Yeah, dad bod.
I feel like for me, I would want someone who.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
I pour into myself and I'm accountable for my shit. I'm aware of what I got going on. I'm not going to have a mom bod. I'm in the gym. I had a baby a year and a half ago. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I would want someone who can match at least the.
Damn, man, baby, you got a lot of time in your hand. 4 to 5 times a week. You're not gonna get no mom bob if, well, I don't know if I could. That's some new term, mom bod. Nah, man, women just get fat. We don't really give it special labels. Last time I checked. Do we give it special? No, I think we do. No, we don't. We don't really do that, personally. And the reason why that is because it's not worth it. What's the purpose of mom bob? We all know that after you have babies, depending the first or second baby, that baby's going to stretch your body out, baby. Is how quickly that body snatch back. And depending on your age and where your body type is, 9/10 of the time, it does not snatch back well. See, one thing that people don't understand, the more thin you are, the more skinny you are, it's hard for you to put on serious weight. Like if you're born, you're like a stick, you're not going to gain weight like that once you start having kids, especially 1 or 2 kids. I know one woman that's in her 30s, she really want to gain like, how much pounds she want to weigh? She want to be like 170-ish, maybe 180, I don't know, sure. And right now she's at 150. And I'm looking at say, if you're 150, and I'm not sure how tall she is, you are actually fine at your weight and height for now. I mean, you might be like an extra 10, 20 pounds, maybe over, I don't know. But if you 150, I mean, you don't want to be putting on more extra weight, because once you start putting more, like an extra 10 pounds, 50 pounds, it's going to go much overboard, especially when you start gaining it and you're not a person that's known to keep your body in shape. It's hard to lose it. Just saying. Let's continue. Fair use and effect.
The work ethic. Now, when it comes to money, I know for me, I want to be able to, I do not want to rely on a man. I have literally done that before. It didn't pan out in my favor. Okay. Because what happens is you get the rug ripped from under you, and then now you fucking get out, bitch, give me the motherfucking keys. It isn't that. So for me, the lifestyle I want, I am responsible for. So I don't look for a man to make X amount of dollars, because anything that I want, I'm going to get myself.
Well, because in my head, I feel like a guy's just as likely to cheat if he's in the top 20% of like looks. Just as likely as money. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't.
Let me ask a quick question, just so I can clarify something, because I understand your points. You're saying you want a partner, a life partner. Are you sure? And I'm not accusing. I'm genuinely asking. Are you sure you're not confusing the amount of time the man spends with you with his monogamy? Because they're different things. Because what happens a lot of the time, if a man's out here chasing chicks, he's barely home. But imagine you had a man who was home 7 nights a week. He was always home. I'm talking about like an hour, like during his work lunch, you don't even notice. Then would you even give a shit about monogamy if you had all of his time effectively? Would you really care?
I still would care, because I feel like that's still just an hour a day, and it's not really quality time. I feel I really have been in so many different situations. Again, the trainer in Austin to the NBA player baby daddy. Like I have seen all of that stuff. And this is just my personal experience and perspective, to where I want someone that sees the value in the Grand Canyon. I want somebody who. I
understand. Okay. Like, so that's a good point. And so I'll just ask the first question. I'm going to ask the second question. The realization you've come to is an interesting one. It is something that happens, especially to females as they mature. Don't you think it's strange, or why do you think that 0 women on earth choose those kind of men who they perhaps have slightly lower status, but are more likely to be loyal to them, be monogamous, etc. in the modern world? Because like I said, the world's changed. Why do you think 0 women choose them when they're at the peak of their choices? So when a woman is 19 and she can go anywhere she wants, every man wants her, she can go on any yacht in Miami, she can get flown out to Dubai, when she has all the choices in the world, why is she completely uninterested in those kind of men? And then when she gets to a certain age of maturity and there's a whole new generation of girls who have all the choices, then they sit there and go, you know what? I deserve monogamy and and they all of a sudden want to grow up and mature. Why does no woman decide that when she actually is at her most valuable?
I feel like like I said, I don't like to speak for all women. I just speak for myself. But I know for me that I was looking for a man for a lifestyle, something that I was not able to do individually by myself. So that's why it's like, well, yeah, I want to be able to do this, do that. I want to go for the football player that was just on GQ. And in reality, now I realize, well, okay, there's a lot that comes with that. I can make my own money. I don't necessarily need that type of guy for the happiness that I'm looking for. Again, seeing value in the Grand Canyon is a lot different than like, okay, here's money for this, here's allowance for that.
And
here's
that's
an
the
hour
same
of my
thing
time.
as you asking why a man that is 20, 21, 23 is not a top G like a 30, 40-year-old man.
No, the point,
your age actually dictates your sort of maturity to a large extent.
Well, I'm arguing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that what I actually think happens, especially in the modern world, because the modern world's all fucked up and nothing's the way it's supposed to be. The traditional life path of a female is she's 17, she's 18, she's 19, and her value is massively inflated. And I don't blame her. Of course it's massively inflated. Imagine being 19 years old, have achieved exactly fucking zero in your life, knowing nothing. You put makeup on and sports stars, billionaires, actors, the most important famous people on the planet, the richest men on the planet are begging for your attention. The ego you're going to develop, let's all be honest, right? The ego you're going to develop is going to be monumental. I'm special. I'm so gorgeous. All this bullshit, right? And then what happens as they grow older, as new generations come along, because the truth is most women are at their peak attraction, let's say in their early 20s. As they grow older, what women become is far more fearful of competition. This is why you'll see a woman who's a bit older go, oh, I really want monogamy. What she's scared of is her dude getting a 21-year-old. That's what she's fucking scared of. She may not know it. She may not say it. But basically...
Now, we're going to pause. And I'm only going to go for like another 15 minutes. I was going to try to go for halfway through this, but because I'm already at a certain amount of time limit on here already, I'll try to push it a little bit more. The point is this. How can I say this? In regards to what he's about to go in about why women, fear that a man's gonna try to look and seek a young woman. This is all Eurocentric, la-di-da-da, rubbish nonsense. Now I remember the laws that was placed in America, in this country especially, the child support, all this desertion, all this stuff, all that was placed by other men because they were getting complaints by these same ladies, the men that was married. After a while, after 10 or more years into the marriage, the man gets bored, he leaves him and the kids, and he goes off and find another young woman. Now, this is a little secret that's not been talked about in regular school systems or regular history, and people didn't really look this information out. That the laws that men complain about today were designed to protect women in regards to shielding the behaviors of what men will take. Because when men is ungoverned, he will do what the hell he wants. And that's a little secret that they don't talk about much. I want that to sit in a little bit for y'all to understand. That's why she has that sense of fear, because she's still thinking and operating during old ways from her mother's mother, grandma, of the stories of what grandpa, father, papa do and has done. So that's something interesting that, Andrew Tate is laying out. Or, but let's just keep going. Kind of hold time. Furious.
That's what the truth is, because she knows a 21-year-old is going to be more desirable, higher status, more fertile. That's what she's scared of.
Cheating is bad when you're 30 or 27.
So no, but it's not about that. I'm telling you the shift in the female mentality, because when a female is 20, she doesn't give a fuck about any of this. She doesn't want to find the nice man. Now she's trying to, like you're saying, chasing a lifestyle, chasing Mr. Promiscuous, chasing Mr. Famous. Doesn't give a shit until she starts getting scared. Oh shit. My age begins with 3 now. And then they change, their mentality changes. It's a fear element. That's the reality. And it's a biological fear element. I'll give you an example of it. You know what's amazing about humans? We are still very primal. When men like these two and me, when we walk through the mall, we'll move. It's like you can sense when the big animals turn up, right? It's something amazing about humans. If you have a very attractive 45-year-old woman, she's gorgeous, but a gorgeous 19-year-old walks in, look at that 45-year-old woman's face. She's furious. She fucking hates her. She just doesn't like her for no reason.
Yeah.
Because women understand, unfortunately, but your age is a massive indicator in your value. In an inverse way to men, men are more valuable as we get older. Every woman knows that. Every woman will sit here and go, yeah, well, I know a man who's older than me. Of course. But if I say it the other way around, I'm misogynistic. It's just the reality of the world. So then we have to go into the other point. The point is this. When you were at your peak value, you had zero interest in monogamy. But then you...
Lordy. Hey, that's well said. Isn't it something that is complained about this environment today? They hear a lot of dudes complain about how these women don't want to settle down. They want to do this. They want to do that. They want to still keep exploring and keep going on the carousel. It's because they want to engage in polyamorous behavior. Think about it. If you think about this, gentlemen, you always hear they sometimes will have their phones ready. They'll entertain other dudes. You hear them all the time say they got a man for this situation, this situation. And the reason why is because these dudes are going to give something because they're hoping to get some in return, which really was access to the box. That's why if she looks a certain way and is a certain age, she does have that options for now. Now, I'm not saying every 20-year-old will be lucky and have this luxury of having these many options, depending on the man she's dealing with. Now, if she is too big and it's not really appealing in the face, her best bet is the men that's like 25 or 35 years her senior to give her certain things. It's like a sugar baby type relationship, if you think about it. And because of this relationship, they're getting something and then hoping not to give anything in return, if they're lucky. But most likely that doesn't play out for a lot of ladies. So when they're young, they are exploring many options. They're exploring polyamorous relationships with other men, whether it's sexually or non-sexual, which really is both. Let's continue. Fair use in effect.
Find a man who's 35 at his peak value. He's finally struggled and worked because when he was 19, no girl spoke to him. When he was 23, he was broke. When he was 24, he had no life experience. When he was 25, he couldn't fuck. When he was 20, whatever. He finally gets to the point where he's now at his peak value. Him at 35 is you when you were 19. And then you're sitting there saying to him, no, you should be monogamous. It's like, well, you fucking weren't. You did whatever you wanted in your peak. Now I'm finally got there. And I had to work for my shit. God gave you. God and L'Oreal gave you. I had to fucking struggle. I had to go through hell to get on this yacht. You got on the yacht with an Instagram DM. I had to buy it. And now you're telling me I need to fucking settle down and behave and grow up? Fuck you.
Because
it's bullshit.
You're assuming that the journey is a man that starts with nothing to something, because there's a lot of men
that is exactly the journey of every man on earth. We are born without value.
Do you think
so there's specificity in that?
Can I just
because
ask-
that's not how it should be for everybody, and that's not how it is for everybody, and not for every woman either as well, may I just say.
Can I ask Brittany something, please? Then you've learned in the past, and now you want to find someone to settle down. With hindsight now, would you have reversed it and started young, looking for someone to settle down with, looking for those values that now you know? I'm talking that with hindsight.
Okay, well, I actually, from 18 to 22, I was in a relationship. I've always actually been a lover girl, despite what I put out online for,
I've never
views.
seen you online.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine. Well, that's even better. I have always wanted one person, and I feel like I was so delusional in thinking that, oh, I'm like you said, like I have value, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm at my peak. Like, why wouldn't you want to be with me? So going into these relationships, or just like, just people, my goal was always to get commitment. Like, I'm giving you my time, I'm pouring into you because I want commitment. And the reality is I'd never really understood my value. So I was going through guys, giving up sex, doing this, and it didn't make sense. So I believe in, I stand on everything I do. I don't do apology tours. It is what it is. And I think that's where I feel like when they talk about women being delusional and all these other things, it is true, because what you have to understand is that there are repercussions to your decisions, which is fine. So then you're talking about, okay, well, I want this type of guy, I want this, that, and that. You're talking about maybe monogamy. That's 3 to 5% of animals are monogamous. I think that's what it is. Right. So your window is really, really small for what you're looking for. And even to go on to the point you said, where you were talking about, it's like a subconscious fear. I think it's like for me, I feel like if it was more of a fear, I would have just stayed in my situation. Like it wouldn't have made sense. Like, I mean, that was my first kid. I thought I waited and did it right. I left because I believe it. There's something else on my heart when it comes to love. And I'm just going to have to trust that. And if that means being alone, having a dog, I have to take that chance because the Bentley, the ring, the house, and still getting, again, deceived, right? Disrespected, because deceit is disrespect, right? So I cannot settle for that. I can't suck a dick and shut up. And that is where a lot.
Well, my good, wonderful, and fair Redbone sister, sucking the phallus and shutting the hell up is probably the best option moving forward. Unfortunately. And I think a lot of women still don't get it. They feel that it's such demeaning that they shouldn't do so, but it wouldn't hurt once in a while to do so, personally. I mean, here's some, especially if you deal with any man that's high tier, high quality, you're going to have to really get on your knees and be quiet. Unfortunately. I think, from my understanding, the more higher up the man is, the more less tolerance he's going to deal with, especially if he's an older man. Now, mind you, there are some young dudes that making some good money, and some might be millionaires. Some of them are maybe six figures or getting their way 6 figures. They're not even playing around with a lot of these females. So what future you think you have out here in this dating market? I'm just saying. Let's continue.
A lot of people don't like my views and what I represent because it is something new. I don't know how it's going to fucking end. I don't know what's going to happen.
What would you tell your 17, if you had to what would you tell your 17-year-old self, knowing what you know now? Looking back and you had to meet yourself at 17, what would you tell yourself? Like, lock it down and wait for the right man, don't have sex. What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
That the answers aren't outside of you, because I feel like I'd always look for men to answer all of my questions that I've ever had. I thought when I had a man, it would complete me. And I feel like too, especially with like my dad not being in my life, you look for somebody to guide me. Like, so that's where for me, I put too much value in someone else having the answers for me. So that's why I'm really big on accountability. So I would just tell myself, like, to be patient, to take your time, because I was always quick. Oh, let's try to get in a relationship. Like, we weren't even compatible. There's a lot of just not compatible factors. So I feel like for me, it would be to slow down and to really get to know people instead of just blindly banking on potential that most likely will never be tapped into, or selling myself short because there's a fear of, well, I don't know, this could be the best that I could get. I might as well just shut up and suck a dick.
And that's what I meant about women nowadays, because exactly what you'd be telling your 17-year-old self is what happened back in the day. So when I'm repeating these things, I'm going, oh, you're old fashioned. But it seems like women do what they like, and then they hit a certain age and say, oh, well, I've got to settle. But it's not settling. You're just getting whatever you can. Or whatever you deserve.
You know what?
Because
Auntie,
if you think back now, you'd be telling people now, rather than say that auntie's old fashioned or auntie don't know what she's talking about, look what she'd be telling her 17-year-old self, which ain't nothing that I ain't already said.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
really and truly,
You know what, yeah?
really and truly, let me finish. Because what I've always said, and you can check, I'm an older version of you. So where you've been, I've already been on up come back. So that's why I asked you, what would you tell your 17-year-old self? Because me telling you is, I'm telling my 30-year-old self. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So it's not that I'm old fashioned. It's just that women hit a certain age and then realize, oh my God, it wasn't that old fashioned. You know, it works because it does. But there's no point in waiting till you're a certain age to start thinking about it. You know, even if you're like, you hold your own accountability. So it's like if you meet somebody and they were like 17, 18 and you saw them acting a certain way, they ask you for advice, you won't say, do as I do. You say, listen, this is what happened to me. And this is what I thought. And what I recommend you do is blah, blah, blah. Am I right or am I wrong? If they ask you for your advice.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with that. I think that no matter what you decide to do, you have to accept whatever repercussions come behind that. So any advice that I give to anybody is do what you want, but just know there are repercussions, good, bad, or indifferent, that are going to come behind it. So, I mean, and I think that's just where I'm at. I don't even think it's like an age thing. I think it's like, in reality, I have a son, and you really start asking yourself questions. And again, I hate that it took having a child to really look into my life and call myself out on my bullshit.
So if you got pregnant earlier, if you got pregnant at 18, 19, would it
I was always on birth control.
Okay.
I was on birth control for a decade. I got off birth control because the person I was with wanted to have a baby.
Okay.
So again, I thought I did it right. Clearly not, because I wasn't married. But
Now you see that don't make no goddamn sense. You were on birth control for a long time, and mind you, birth control is toxic to the female body. But we know in this modern day, because women love sex and dudes love sex, they want to continue to engage in sex without creating life, and it's a little weird, but it is somewhat possible but impossible, because sex does equal procreation. I don't care what people say, but the point is this, that you come off it so the man can knock you up. It's telling. It's very telling. It seems to me you want that baby more than him. And how we know? Because you're now, last time I checked, co-parent with Mr. Washington, if I'm right. But so, ladies, be careful of how you move and doing such reckless acts like that. I mean, I'm just saying. But let's continue. I'm going to finish this up. Various in effect.
it still didn't work out because it just wasn't my guy. So that's where I just think, like, even if I still would have taken it slow, there just were a lot of people that just were genuinely not my person, and that's okay.
I would just
speaking of marriage, I wanted to know, do you think we're in a post-marriage society? Because on one hand, we hear that women should wait till they're married to have sex, but at the same time, we also hear from the men that they don't want to get married anymore. So what do we do with that?
Seems like it's true, because nowadays a lot of people are looking at marriage as a contract rather than a partnership. And there's a huge difference between that, because with a contract, there are so many terms and many headaches and this and that. And
well, it is a contract.
Well,
yeah, women are paid to leave. Yeah,
but that's because that is what it is now. Because realistically, the traditional sense of marriage is not a contract, really, in terms of the law. Once the law is involved, that's when everything went tits up, I think.
Yeah. So the problem is that there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man. There is zero statistical advantage. If you use your mind, if you use your head instead of your heart, and you look at the advantages to getting married, there are absolutely not really none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically destroys all men in the idea, in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, et cetera, et cetera. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with the women either.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment. And then you have to add in the other hidden element, and the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? So when society's broken down, if women were saying, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? Get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami. I go to Miami. I can fuck anything in the club. I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So, like, let's all use our brains here. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be like, well, no, bounce, see ya, no. So men have been scared away from the idea of marriage. And that's a lot of that is the fault of this new bullshit law and this new feminism and this new crap. They don't give men any tactical advantage. And I'm talking about small things. A man's not even allowed to be a man in his own house. You know, in England, you will get accused of emotional abuse. I can marry a woman. Not lay a hand on her. I can just raise my voice at her. That's emotional abuse. I can raise my voice at her because she's going out drinking with dudes. She can go out drinking 6 nights a week with men. And I can say, what the fuck, you're my wife, sit down. She can call the cops, call me emotionally abusive. I get arrested now. Now there's a court case against me. I have to go to court and defend myself. She'll divorce me, take my house. I have to sell my car because she's drinking vodka with fucking God knows what.
It's
What
insanity.
do you think of child support?
And and that's another interesting thing, because a lot of these arguments, it goes beyond man and woman, and it goes into the larger sphere as a whole, right? Because we talked earlier about war and how a lot of men used to die, and that doesn't happen anymore. So what you used to have in societies, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, I'm just commenting, right? What you used to have in societies is a bunch of men would die at war because men have more dangerous lives than women. There'd be a bunch more women than men. The top G's would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top G's could take care of the women, and that'd be et cetera, et cetera. That's now changed, right? So a lot of the reason that monogamy is pushed is because it's good for society. And it is good for society. It's good for society as a whole to have a man, a woman, a family, they're together, the man provides for the woman, et cetera. The government doesn't want to pay for all these kids. If you don't have child support, who's paying for these kids? The government does it. It breaks down, right? So that's why child support is enforced in many parts of the world. In certain other parts of the world, child support isn't enforced because they have religious beliefs or genuine family beliefs that keep the families together. But in the Western world, now you need child support because you've broken things down to the point where men don't want to be married to chicks. Chicks don't want to listen to the man. The man can't even be the man in his own household. He can't even feel respected where he goes. His woman gives him no status. And now he doesn't want to fucking deal with her anymore. So how do you get that kid paid for? Well, then tell the man, or you go to jail. And you just come along with the fucking long arm of the law and you fuck him. And so, yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to answer.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. My fault. I apologize. I paused there for a reason to correct certain things. Child support was designed and forced by men. And the reason why it was forced by men, because men are the ones, as much as I want to say, and mind you, these laws were created by the men that run the society, which is predominantly non-black men, Caucasian men, in America especially. It was designed because men at a point married, had their babies with their wife after approaching close to 20 or under 20 or greater years. He gets tired and bored, and he eventually moves on and finds another woman and starts a new life. Remember, back in the 1900s, going on to the 20th century, up until the 70s, there was no such thing as what they call no fault divorce. I said it right. No fault divorce. But before we got to no fault divorce, there were cases in histories actually document that there is forms of desertion. And because of desertion, the women complain. They go to these other groups of men, especially men that runs law and stuff, and make the complaints to the point where now men had to sit there and had to put things in paper and law to start regulate the behavior of men that's creating desertion of his families. I want people to hear this and hear this well. There's no way hell no no state or government that's run and controlled by men still are going to put laws to regulate your behaviors unless it needs to, because let's be honest, who's paying for these kids? Who's really paying for these kids? And yes, white men do desert their kids. I'm not sure why this has turned into a black thing, because people don't fucking read or no damn books. And the information is, we have the internet. We could probably pull up and use special AI to find books on this if we need to find, is this factual? So that's why they put laws to really start put a slap in the wrist to certain men. Now, mind you, child support was always here and systems were here because part of the government. But as no-fault divorce was put in play in the 70s, where now women got to get some out of the deal because, like I said, some people married, they don't stay married, they don't go divorce the right way, they just go and start a new life and still under contract with the other woman because either they could pay for it or not, they feel to start a new life is nothing. But for God's sake, now that's some sloppiness. So what the states and governments have been paying attention and notice this because it's been doing too common. Now it makes sense why no-fault divorce was designed. People understand law is not designed put here for a reason. They're put here for a purpose. Now, it's going to come to the point if we men move a certain way and we had to combat certain laws by moving effectively, we could probably push back a good portion of these laws. And the laws will push because once your behavior change and then the behavior that's conflicted on you, on the woman, you could use against to start put laws to regulate the women. But a lot of men are not going to do so because we feel it's not necessity. We think it's too much work to go fight other men to really reverse certain laws, unfortunately. So we sit there, complain. We complain a lot. And mind you, child support was not enforced until the 90s during Clinton's reign. So when they start putting in child support, because everybody has to be put on it, they were not getting no money because no one was paying it, unfortunately. But since he came off and said, now we're going to take your license, we're going to punish you, now it became an issue. So it lets me think that majority of men, if they were married or not married, they will move recklessly with no repercussions. So let's have this conversation. Let's say you go outside the country where there's no laws in this. That tells me if things don't go right, you're going to move on and start another life and don't pay nothing. Now, I could be wrong. I could be lying, but we shall see. Because that's no issue why I'm men asking for equal, what do they call it, co-parent, because they don't want to pay nothing if they're not married, unfortunately. Let me read the comment. I see somebody wrote something here. And I got to finish this video because it's almost 3 hours in this. What says, seems like people don't take marriage serious anymore. If someone gets fat or broke, they get divorced. Till death, sickness, poor is the... Yeah, it is. And that's the problem, Valley. Once you make that great ultimation and say that we're in this till the one of us kicks bucket, then you fulfill your end of the marriage. But a lot of people now, because marriage today is really a joke, that people back then that were a certain generation, silent generation, baby boomer and Gen Xer, and maybe very few millennials, don't understand that was the purpose of marriage. You're in it for the long haul. And a lot of people don't really have that sense of discipline or commitment to be in it for the long haul. But let's continue playing this tape because I got to wrap this up. Fair use and effect.
Yeah, but it's hard to answer. The true answer to all of it is an idealistic answer. I don't like to think idealistically and talk idealistically, but it's the truth. The true answer to it is to instill in the man a sense of duty in which he wants to take care of his woman regardless, because that's his child. But you will do that. I'll tell you how you do that. You do that by inspiring out of the man by being a very good woman. So I'll give you an example. If I had a child with a woman, and she was always a great woman to me. She never cheated on me. She was a good woman to me. And I was running around being whatever. And she's like, look, I just can't put up with you anymore. You're top G. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to look after your kid. You can see him anytime you want. I care about you. Please don't leave me in poverty. I'd say, cool. 100%. I'm not a fucking dickhead.
Can I
Cool,
say
I got you.
That's
I
a
got you.
real man though, because I was in a
'Cause a lot of real
situation
men
just
are.
yeah, but I was just in a situation like that to where it's like hearts don't break even, and that's the reality too. It's like if those morals and principles are not instilled in a man, none of that shit matters. So obviously the child support stuff obviously hits close home to me because I'm already 50,000 just in lawyer fees trying to get him to provide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like you play in the NBA, like why don't you want to do more? And it's just because again of the relationship, it's personal, it's not about our
Personal.
son.
That's right.
So it's like, yeah, if you're not
So
I just feel like it's like, why do you get money for making a poor choice?
well, it wasn't a poor choice because it took
and
two.
I'm not trying to like disrespect you in any way. It's just like if you left, and
no,
so it's
yeah,
like, why do you get money for it? It just
right
doesn't make
because
sense.
because we made a commitment. So we made at the end of the day, we made a commitment. We have a forever commitment. Fuck marriage. We are forever family. So again, as someone who is literally going through this, if I made more money than him, I would be paying him child support, and that would be fair to me.
But this is what's really interesting. What's truly interesting is if you go to other
No, you won't. Don't you want Brittany? Stop the cap, man. You know, it's very rare I find women paying child support to a man in this society. Do you, ladies and gentlemen? Do you find that weird? If you made more than him, I don't see y'all really want to pay him child support. I'm just saying. Now, mind you, every racial person is different. But we know fact when it comes to sisters or half a sister, I don't see that possible. But just me. Fair use and effect.
countries, and I'm talking about civilized countries, right? If you go to Poland or Czech Republic or whatever, these countries, which are in many metrics more civilized than the West, they're safer to live in, they're cleaner, etc. There's no child support laws. So if you have a divorce, the man just takes care of the woman because that's his kid and that's just what he's supposed to do, and that's just it. So what you're saying is, you're right about the man having the morality instilled inside of them. And my point is that the reason a lot of this doesn't exist, the reason men don't have morality installed in them, is not just about the individual case of the man. It's about society as a whole. It's about women as a whole, men as a whole, the dating game as a whole, the life he's living as a whole. And this is the world we live in. This is why I was talking about how dangerous new think is, because now we have this new think, this new world, and we're living in this new world. And the truth is, as a man, now the game has changed. In the game of chess, sometimes it's not about winning. It's about making sure you don't lose. If you can not lose, if you can not blunder any pieces and protect your king long enough, you'll win the game. And there's a lot of men who are now like, okay, how do I not lose? Well, you know what? I become fucking ruthless. That's how I don't lose. I get all my sex because the women are promiscuous. I get laid as much as I want. I don't let anyone fucking tie me into anything dumb. Any bitch wants to get fresh to me or fucking talk to another dude, I cut her off financially. And you just get ruthless so you don't lose the game. But that's because the game's been rigged against men. So the harder you rig the game against us, the more ruthless we're going to have to be to compete. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying why men do what they do.
Can I just say with regards
Miss Valley writes, and let me do this so I can see it. My dude's cousin is getting a divorce and his wife makes more, so we'll have to pay him, he said. Okay. Well, like I said, the laws are favored, and I'm personally honest with you, ladies. A lot of dudes don't think on this that they should get child support, especially if the woman makes more money than them. Because men have been conditioned that is, you're a bum, you're lazy. Why you want me to pay? Why don't you pay? Be a man. Because it exempts some form of accountability that you marry a dude or you're in a relationship with and you make more than him. So how the hell he's going to pay you and you make more of the money? It doesn't make sense. It's backwards. It's abstinent. It's nonsense. But because they condition majority males don't think like that, a lot of dudes won't be asking for child support from his woman. And they should. Because damn sure they would ask every pain. I'm be honest with y'all. The laws are being changed right now as we speak about child support and child support reform. Having a baby right now without being married at this stage of the game, if you're a lady, you're delusional. See, Brittany think because she was not married to PJ, listen to me good, that she think because she had his son that she's entitled for half the wealth. She's not getting that. She's not getting that. And a lot of women ran this hustle too long. And then when you run a hustle for too long, because let's be honest, the state makes billions of dollars through child support. and this is from Mr. Palmer. F child support. If they're making this amount of money, right, that money is guaranteed regardless. But here's the twist. They're not going to start reinforming it, because now if men are doing what they do and they're making money, but you're making much money if depending on your profession, these laws are not going to be in favor for you for a long time, ladies, especially if you make more than him, regardless if you're married or not. So the better you do it right and stop playing these games, having a kid, and hopefully you'll be a single mother and then just move on and let him pay some child support. Nah, those days are slowly being obsolete. Keep that in mind. Let's wrap this up. Fair use.
So, Brittany, I just think that with regards to child support, you got a kid, you look after it.
Hey, I do.
Not you, the men.
I was like, I do look after my son.
No, not you.
Okay, I was like, hold on.
That's why I said, no, that's what I said with regards to the child support. That's what I first said. I think that you have a kid, that you should look after it. I don't agree with men giving the women money, but I think it's disgusting that a man can have a child and not support it.
So do I. But this is another thing. So this is the comments we have to make, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We have to make the comments on it. This goes into the deeper point. Every time a court rules in favor of a chick having $100,000 a month, that puts men off to a level. Like, it's fine if there was a baseline child support, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's if you have a kid, baseline, regardless of income. If your man wants to give you more, he does. If he doesn't, whatever. But when you come along and start saying this percent of a man's income, do you have any idea how scary that is to a man who works for his money? He works for his money. And do you know why it's scary? It's not just because he's giving his money away. It's because he knows he isn't giving money to the kid.
Yeah.
The kid, you can raise a kid on $500 a month in most of the world. You want that kid in Gucci, you in a nice car, going on dates with another dude with.
Now, some men will disagree with you with that, Mr. Tate. I would say, depending on where you live, you're always supposed to give the basic necessities: food, clothing, shelter, at least. But if you're not married, and you're co-parent, or you're in some relationship and you have a child and you decide you don't want no man, you discard a man, or whatever case the relationship does not work for whatever reason, the amount of money the man makes or he's going to supply you is going to be enough just for you to put into the child. It's not where you're supposed to live lavishly, live like you're living beyond your means. And the reason why most women will live beyond these because they watch and consume commercialization of television. You got to have this. I got to have this shoes, these purse. It's pure consumption that are feeding your female counterpart because she's going to spend. That's why they don't mind giving certain positions, certain jobs, or certain money to certain gender, because they know they're going to get that money back tenfold. Watch the paper trail, gentlemen. Watch how the money is flowing. Where it's going, where it's leaving, who's throwing what into what. Always keep in memory. Fair use and effect.
My money. I'd rather burn the fucking house down than to give it to you under those fine circumstances.
Vouchers for child support.
I just think it incentivizes poor decisions. Like I haven't gotten pregnant by someone, but like but I'm saying, but like you're gonna pay someone who's done that. Like, why did they get?
Okay, but I'm literally telling you that what if I made more money than him, I would have no problem paying for my child. And there's child support laws vary in different states. So in North Carolina, for instance, if you make over combined of $300,000 a year, then you are considered off the grid. So then you have to prove this is how much your rent is. Any bill that my son occupies, I get a percentage of. So on the low end, it would be 50%. If there's a big enough salary gap, it could be up to 97%. In the court, the judge gets to decide what makes the most sense. So if my child's father makes $20 million a year from basketball, he gets to decide if $6,000 is a lot, if $8,000 or $10,000, whatever. But you have to prove that. So it's not like you just it's enough money for a Chanel bag. Like these are my son watches Peppa Pig. That's a cable bill. You know what I mean? So it's a percentage of everything. So you're not like just living it up. You're just living. I mean, so you're able to. There's a roof over your son's head.
My whole point is that like it's all down to choices, and
the man made a choice too because I can't get pregnant unless he nuts in me.
I understand that, but I'm
then there's nothing to argue. You understand that
you're the one that's only in control of who gets born. Abortion's legal.
Okay,
as soon as he nuts, it's completely out of his control.
Listen,
can I just say something though?
Wait,
just playing devil's advocate, that I had my child and me and the dad went together, and I didn't take a penny from him, and the government wanted me to, but I decided that no, But he was better off that. My child, I look after him myself. Anything he wants to give his son if he wanted to as extra, but I worked hard and I done it all on my own. Because it was just less, because it's less headache. It's less headache.
And I know a lot of women that went that
It's
route.
my
It's
child.
unfair though that you have to think that he's not going to be a man and take care of his child. Don't you think that's unfair on you?
No, because he's my child and he's happy and I'll give him what he wants.
Child as well. He made that child.
That's why I don't need a man
but the whole
attitude,
point
you know.
is you choose who you sleep with.
Listen, right, as far as
Yeah, but he chooses as well. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
this is two to tango. What are we talking about?
I'm saying right now it's not fair because women have abortion that's legal. It's not legal for them.
Oh,
they
I'll tell you
get
what's
no
not
say.
fair.
They get no say, and the same thing with birth.
I mean,
control.
I could have done,
You
but it wasn't worth my time.
You can get
Well, I'm not going to go and fight a man.
IUD.
Yeah, but-
It's like
But what if the
99.9%.
man wanted the child though?
That's exactly my point. So I was on birth. Let's just use me as an example.
My point, I think he should. I think he should take care of it. I just don't agree with having legal incentives for women to leave. That's my point. He should give you money for the kid. If you have a kid, you should, but I just don't agree with
See, but the thing is, if men stood up and became fathers to their children, women wouldn't have
but if
to.
women
choose differently.
We're in control. We're in control of who we sleep with. So at the end of the day,
that's not the point, because he agreed, he wanted the child.
but you pick who you sleep with. So if
Okay.
you pick a guy that's getting girls pregnant left and
Yeah,
right,
but
that's-
she doesn't know that he's not going to be there. She doesn't know that.
If she married him, she'd be all right.
She trusted this man to be a father to a child, and now she's left with a child, and no one's going to support her.
Marry him.
Don't you think that's unfair?
Should have married him first.
I mean, you can get married.
Of course.
You get married, but you get married in that
That's what I'm saying. It's
You
just
think
like
marriage is what solves problems? Are you guys actually
No,
sitting
what I'm trying
here-
to say, marriage will solve
you
the
don't
financial
talk. You've already
problems.
spoken, Auntie. Please don't cut me off. This is the problem, yeah? Stop acting like every woman that leaves a marriage and gets divorced is because she's this and she's that. There's a lot of women that suffer and they actually need the support and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels, because there's a lot of men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man, and a lot of the time, the person takes the brunt of it.
This is good. Yeah, I know, Valley. It is, isn't it?
Is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place. And the government should step in to make sure that that man that made her make that decision steps in for their kid.
Can I say something?
The time that she takes to take care of the child is the time that she doesn't have to go to work. So she's already down on income, and she's having to be taking care of the child on her own. That don't make sense. Not every man is a bloody angel, and not every woman is a devil.
Don't pick men.
Wait, hang on a minute.
They're gonna leave. Go ahead.
Hang on a minute.
How do you do that?
When did I say a man was an angel?
How do you do that? How do you do that?
How do you pick the right man?
I'm talking.
Because-
I'm talking.
No,
I waited. I waited.
Yes, you
I
did.
waited.
You
Right?
did.
So now it's my time to talk.
Talk to me.
What I was saying to her is, right, is that if she'd got married first, then she would have been all right. She would have to be fighting through the court. So the same law that you're saying would have supported her and her child.
And no, and
That is the difference
It still
between
supports
getting
her.
married first.
No, the
and that's
only
what I'm saying.
difference-
And that's what when people
Getting
were saying
married
about.
just gives you more money. Then
Hang on a
because
minute.
you got a
Alimony.
divorce
Listen.
and kids.
You
It's
just
not a good decision, yeah?
Excuse me, but I shut up when you were talking.
Go on, apologies, my auntie.
Right.
I didn't mean to disrespect you.
So what I was trying to say is that there is an incentive when women get married first and have children. Because I'm not saying that you, I'm just saying women in general. If a woman gets married first before she has a child and then it leaves, then it's totally different. Like he said before, she's set up for life. If she leaves,
auntie, just
she's
like
set up for
Tate
life.
said.
So if somebody
set up for
else,
life without marriage, though. That's the point.
No,
That's
and
even
that
what we're
is
All right. They're not getting it. They're not gonna get it. I'm already past the time already on this bad boy, and I'm halfway through this. This is a long stream, man. As y'all know, I sometimes don't like doing these reactionary type streams because I have to stop, give some type of commentary, yada yada yada. The point is this, and I don't mind listening to older women, but older women at least have more better sense than these young modern women because they did something that somewhat works. Now, is marriage always guaranteed? Hell no. Anybody have common sense will know that. But it's sure as hell better than what we're doing out here now. Now, if most people are married and divorced, and it takes what before you divorce, I wouldn't have no argument. But nowadays, how we moving and how society moving out, regardless, marriage has its any polyvary or any substance, it makes sense in the short term and long term effects. One thing ladies don't understand: if a man knows you're married and eventually, let's say you get divorced after a certain period of time, let's say 13, 15 years maybe, a man might look at you a little differently. He'll still question it, but he'll look at it differently because you're able to bond and deal with things, grow and build with a man for that period of time. But if you're not married long, you're just having kids, one or two from different multiple men, and you put yourself in a very sticky situation from the modern and above average men, unfortunately. I mean, I look at front center when I know a woman that, you know, has more than one kid, or even go as far as doesn't prioritize relationship at a certain age, you know. Because men have to really look long term, say, what is my chance dealing with you if you have not dealt with a man for a long time, or even pair bond or made it work? Most likely it's going to be the same result with him. And a lot of dudes rationally think about what if. That's why the history and the past of certain women is somewhat vital in a lot of these conversations. Now, today, I think most people, marriage is not in their equation. Most people, men and women. But nonetheless, it makes sense if you're going to have some kid, at least get married and, you know, work, make it work for a while, and then, you know, go from there. But, you know, overall, you know, this was a good that was a good video. I think Miss Bings has something here, and she will hit that 1 million very soon. And I think once she gets to that point, I think her platform is going to go a different direction. I just don't know. Overall, you know, with having these conversations, these relationship conversations, is not going to leave us. It's not going to get somewhere old anytime soon, because people love to get a quick release. That's how I view it. So I hope you guys got some out of this stream. If you're new to the Chaos Rain channel, you know what the deal, or the Chaos Rain show, sorry. And like always, welcome to those that are subscribed to the Chaos Rain show. I am Chaos Rain here. You know the deal. Hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook, and join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain channel. It's on the About section and pinned up here in the chat room here. If you still have any questions or any thoughts, opinions, I want to hear from you. Leave your comment below during this video, and leave comments on any other videos that's being put out here on the Chaos Rain channel. All right, and that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. And hold on. Where is it? Until next time, everybody, let it chaos rain.